And hello, everyone. Welcome to the EU qualification process for the Crown LAN NA versus EU Showmatch. Currently Sloth is working on things. I'll be the one talking for the most part, but this is gonna be really funny because I'm the only one with actually good ping, and no one else is because I'm NA, which is kind of funny because we're playing on Montreal servers today. Everyone on EU is playing on Montreal, and it's gonna be such a blast to watch because we're gonna be seeing a lot of things happening.
Yeah, most definitely. And for everyone that does wonder, right, why are we playing Montreal? This is a full EU tournament. Only EU players are allowed to participate in this. However, for the show match, because the next NA LAN for the crown, again, by the way, if any of you guys happen to be from NA and don't know about it, what are you doing? Sign up for. Well, I think the signups are over already because it's next week.
Yeah, they
But
are.
stay tuned to watch that next week on Best Team Slot because that's going to be a banger. But anyways, as part of that event, the idea came up since the land's gonna be on the west coast of NA. Maybe we could find a funny server in the middle. So EU and NA have similar similar ping to that server to kind of even it out, because that's like the biggest issue when it comes to any kind of cross-regional play, right? One region is always going to be at an advantage, no matter what you do. So that's the idea, and that's why we're doing this qualification on that server already. Because it doesn't really matter if we have the best team in EU come over, play on that server, and then it turns out everyone's on 200 ping and it's not really playable for them. So that's why we're doing it this way. And Autry just corrected me, they're not over yet. So if you haven't signed up yet and you're planning to go on the LAN, do that now. It's closing on Monday evening. So get that in.
I mean, I'm already excited for the crowd line in general. I mean, I'm not even gonna be there, Smile, so all good. But in turn, I am really excited to see who comes out. We have 2 out of 3 first time on ping and versus Orpilled. Hold on, I have to like actually pull those up because I am a little bit slow.
I can tell you.
With an XD Grim versus Kishira, Luki Mana, and Terminus S. I only know like 5 out of 6 people on this roster. Holy.
I mean, I feel like if you're looking at the rosters, right, you're gonna be having a favorite going into this game because Wood, Grim, both USL players. Actually, Alf's has also played in Season 1. All of them, great and individual play as well. Alf's also being very used to playing on ping. I believe he does play on NA servers from time to time, or even SA servers. He's very international with where he's playing. So he's already going to have some kind of idea of what he needs to look out for. The question in that team specifically is how well is Grim and Wood going to adjust to it. On the other side, Orpilled, a little bit more of an unknown factor, how they will perform on ping, but still these decently good individual players. Although I would still say it would count as an upset if they do find a win here. In terms of format, for everyone that doesn't know, this is a double elimination bracket, where the winning team of it all obviously will get the chance to represent EU in that show match in the next weekend. It's BO1s all the way up to winners finals and grand finals. Grand finals will have a potential grand final reset if it comes to it, due to the bracket being a little bit smaller today. Makes sense. I would have, for example, also would have liked to play in this, but I am not really on a playable ping towards Montreal, and I assume a lot of other players were struggling with the same kind of problem.
Oh no. Do I need to like enlighten them on what happened during TPT20?
You can if you'd like.
Oh god, no. Oh, it was so bad. So in light of that, since we're waiting on people to get in and like actually do drafter, so currently, well, back then when we had TPT20 with like the 500 like donation from Aesop and like everyone else, the funny thing is, me, Ether, and Frying Pan Man, if you guys don't know Ether or Frying Pan Man, they're both NA players. Ether in particular has casted here at one point in time. And we were up against, I think, Zoe, Sloth, and was it SMG?
It wasn't Zoe, it was Luna.
No, it wasn't Zoe.
It was Atsu/Luna, SMG, and myself.
Oh, that makes it even worse. But the entire thing was that Slav, Atsura, and SMG were all on ping, and we still lost. In like Oh my god. It was my Kazan versus Sloth's Mako, and I got dipped on 180 ping, bro. Like, it might be cooked.
Listen, you have to deal with it with a SMG rune, all right? That one's already gonna be difficult. I will still always remember that one strike shot that I hit because that's not gonna go anywhere.
Don't even get me started on it,
Just
bro.
imagine Hurricane in front of net, flip ready, open net. He's shooting it cross goal, and I hit that with strike shot on like 160 ping. I think I've peaked right there.
Yeah, I think I gave up. I was like, yeah, nah. I mean, he just read the flip completely. Oh god. The thing is, you even perfectly timed it too. It was going to go in. Like as soon as I struck it, you also struck on ping. I was like, okay, yeah, it's not worth to like play this game anymore. It's cooked.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it was an experience. Again, I would love to play more of the NA tournaments as well, but obviously things are sadly thing. However, we do have the drafts have gone through. I do believe. I'm trying to figure out what map we are currently on. Because they are looking to already do the striker drafts. So give me a second to figure this out.
These guys, they did it wrong. These guys, they did it wrong.
I wouldn't say that. They're probably just already... Because the matchups that have been known to them are like a few minutes prior. Maybe they just started doing it
Oh yeah.
before. Or they did just set up the lobby wrong. That's very likely. Again, since this is kind of a bub format, it's a lot more on the team sides as well to set that up. Now, could we have set that up for them? Probably would have been smarter as well. But I'm sure we'll figure it out. We can fill a bit of error without speaking.
Yeah, I mean this is just a BO1, so in turn we could probably just like it's only a BO1. Nothing can go wrong. I promise. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't believe I'm looking at people play on ping. Oh my god. People don't see the image, but like I love hovering over the fact that I want to see ping, and I'm the only one on green bar. This is amazing. I love it here.
It's probably you can't really play with the advantage though, sadly, because obviously every single non-European player is prohibited from playing in this. So, okay, so it does look like draft is going under. The draft is being a bit weird, so we'll figure out what is happening here. But it does look like Orb Pilled, which is the team of Lucky Monarchy and Terminus, have opted for blue side. Now, is that blue side for map draft or blue side for striker draft? We will find out soon. But I mean, other than that, Kirikan, picking you up a bit, right? It's been a while now since the patch has dropped. I feel like it's been like a bit over the week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your takeaway? Anything you noticed other than the fact that you can now order a massive Finny plushie? What's your main understanding so far of this?
So, I mean, in general, I had to play this patch like for ISS because in the end we had to like play with the patch for like a week or so. And the one thing I've definitely noticed is that it made it like 15 times easier to kill the goalie. I promise. Like you can probably like Oki the goalie over and over, and it would not matter. Like you wouldn't be punished for like doing damage. Like you wouldn't even be punished for doing damage. And it feels off, but at the same time, it's kind of cool because I get to Oki the goalie for fun. And since I did pick up a new character, and it's really funny watching a stealth primer hit the goalie and immediately kill them, it's kind of cool. I like mess with the draft so much.
Yeah. I feel like the bigger change for me as well is that Hotshot just got out. I feel like Hotshot was such a like defining awakening in terms for a lot of the characters that just do so well with it. It being out of rotation, it does make it a bit more interesting overall. But I think other than that, I feel like Chrono Boost is back. I feel like that's going to be great for the Mako enjoyers, for the Era enjoyers. And for even the Now, obviously Now I don't think it's going anywhere. Orb Replicator seems like a bit of a meme, but hey, I'm sure it's great. So
I mean, wait, hold on. wait, oh, you don't know, but my ISS teammate Blank, he's an orb person. He loves eating the orbs, and quite literally, once Orb Replicator came out, he would literally just munch on the orbs all the time. So like in one of our games, I think it was versus Steelheads in like the last game of pools. He quite literally we had to play an Oni Village game because we wanted to play Oni. It was like a 25-minute game where it went set 5.5. And in total, he munched like 67 orbs in 28 minutes. I mean, if this guy isn't the orb muncher, I don't know who is.
Yeah, although I don't know how much of a point there is to orb munching as of right now, because it is just XP and HP that gets transferred, which is still like good, right? But it's not nearly comparable to when the other two orbs were in. So I feel like
Oh,
it's still gonna be a fun awakening for me to pick up, though. At least personally, when there's nothing else to be taking. But we do have information on what has been going on in the draft. And first of all, we're on Inkies. So that's a bit of a fun one. We are dealing with Adrenaline, Rush, and Spark of Agility, and the character drafts have already gone through as well. From the side of Orbless, they opted to ban out Kazan, answered by a Juno ban from 2/3, first time on ping, and the character comps also seem pretty standardized for, I feel like, a European side. Orbless is playing a Mako Estelle Rasmus against a Kai Runes and Taro. On the other side. Any thoughts on that, Gurken?
Oh, I mean, Inkies! Yo, my favorite map. I don't know what to tell you. I love Inkies. Burning passion for it. I wanted to play it almost every single game, and unfortunately, we didn't play it a single time. But I'm like, I love playing Inkies. It's such a fun map. If anyone hates on Inkies, I will personally explode you.
Okay, that's harsh. But yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? I feel like Inkies is just very unique in the way you play it out. But we will see how well these teams are going to be doing with the scrums and everything that's going on, as we're now loading into the game as well now. Orpilled against 2/3 first time on ping. I got the scoreboard wrong way around. Don't matter.
Oh yeah, I mean, they didn't even switch, but like, I mean, we could just
Yeah, just
see what
ignore
they're
this
gonna
really
pick.
quick.
Yeah.
You're not seeing anything change.
Oh,
There.
I mean, for
Just focus
them,
on
they're
the
running.
draft. Just focus on what's happening on the draft.
Yeah, they're running Rune. Oh my God, Grim Rune. He's pulled that out once or twice or maybe 3 times in EU. So, well, USL. So it's gonna be fun to watch him play it again. I mean, most of his Rune picks were banned, no? If
Most
he
of the
ever
time,
wanted to
yeah.
play Rune, it was banned.
Most of the time, Grim specifically known to be like an excellent rune player and an excellent Estelle player.
Oh
So
yeah.
you saw it in this draft as well. The Estelle probably being a pickup to be a strong pick for the side of Warpelt, while also being a strong deny pick on the side of Grim. But obviously you can't get rid of everything, and Grim
Yeah.
being on that rune is going to be a very lethal force for certain. Going into the game as well, everyone picked up Spark of Agility, so we're going to be playing with movement speed here.
You spark of agility, people. No one's taking ad rush. Unbelievable, bro. I mean, I mean, in general, like, oh, I just realized everyone. Oh my goodness, it's a slick kicks game. I remember the time when Maxwell's were best. Now it's slick kicks. What a great world to live in.
Yeah, I feel like with the Maxwell's nerf, Slick Kicks is just gonna come back a bit more, at least from the European side. I think over in NA, it is a bit more common to still pick up the Maxwells, but I think it might have dropped a bit as well. But going into this game as it is right now as well, the gameplay, it doesn't seem all too different so far, considering everyone's gonna be on ping. I do wonder if how many moments we're gonna have where it's gonna be a bit more apparent, you know, that there is a slight delay. But overall, I feel like it's gonna even itself out a bit. And I think that was the first little one. Terminus there, not getting the strike on the hook quite right.
Yeah, but everyone hitting their ability so far means that Grim gets the triple banish into Scream Mouse, hitting it right into the goal there. Great banish by Grim to set up for that. And you said earlier with the ping, we just saw Terminus as with their Death Touch missing. Well, their strike missing after the Death Touch, and that's the first sign. But in general, everyone's been hitting their ability so far, and it's looking still a very close game. I mean, it took a long time for both of those, for any of the bears to come down in reality.
Yeah, it's a difficulty of being able to get a consistent setup when the game's just not feeling quite the same as it has before, right? That's some small timing change can be such a huge difference for the players, and then getting into that comfortability of getting a good attack set up, even considering the delays, is going to be a bit more difficult to deal with. But Wood doesn't really seem to care for it because Wood just runs up with a barrage flip and just secures the second call in favor of 2/3 first time on ping here. That's a
Yeah, that
long name.
barrage. Oh yeah. Yeah, that barrage goal is gonna be a very hard thing to work with. I mean, both teams are kind of poised to play core control for the most part, but Scream Owl's with flip almost getting ready to look at something. Yes, and yes, yeah, he still has the special strike up for grabs right now. Let's see if he's able to use it. But so far he's keeping it well, and so far that barrier hasn't come down yet. Terminus that's with a great primary to sub it in, and even just the goal, it looks like a very scuffed point, but that's point one for the orb pilled.
Yeah, those are the small things you need to take advantage of, right? Like these one crucial strike misses and that can just make or break a goal. But I feel like 2/3 are still looking really strong here because they do have two flips offensively pretty soon. Wood gets taken out by Terminus there with a smart play, but the Giga immediately answers the flip as well. Al's not trying to get this barrier. Let's see if he can find it.
Hopefully can, but so far they're holding strong so far. That Mako is looking really dangerous right now, just holding the corner out, and so is Lucky Mana though. But they might fall off the map, but instead it's the Rune falling off the map actually. 2v3 power play currently for Terminus and Lucky Mana. Scream Mouse also looking pretty low as the Rasmus has to set up somewhere, but the play's getting stalled out so far. That ping is definitely working its wonders right now as no one's able to really get the core anywhere. As Gurk comes back online, the Rune trying to get something done and close out the set right now, and they will as the Rune strikes right through, and that's set one.
Set one going in favor of 2/3, and going into this draft as well, there's probably going to be quite a few awakenings. You'd really love having awakening priority in a game full of sparks, because now you're looking at this, you're looking at the Zentaro, you see a spark of focus being here for the pickup, and that just guarantees the Zentaro 2 sparks to be dealing with here, which is obviously insane, right? The snowball can get started very early on. Other than that, though, still good pickups around across the board with the stacks and stacks finding its way onto Lucky Mana. The specialized training finds its way onto Wood, maybe a bit more of a KO menace now. Size on Rasmus is going to be great. Castellast is going to be really strong for a rune, especially because I feel like those creations are going to give you a bit of consistency to be working with when you are working on a delay. And the last pickup being the Twin Drive on Kishiro, in-game name Colin, is definitely going to do a lot of work as well, giving Damako even more ability to speed up her forwards.
Yeah, I mean that twin drive pickup for Hala is working wonders so far. Even though they lost the barrier, they actually saved that goal right there. As Terminus and Lucky Mana are trying to look for it, but Scream Mouse with the board flick right down to the bottom side secures that first point right there. And Scream Mouse has been dominating Kishiro right there in the goal box for the moment because he hasn't been able to really get anything done, even as a Mako.
Yeah, it's a timing thing, likely. It's a thing of getting your primaries and your secondaries right, dealing with the delay and getting the strikes ready. I personally feel like playing goalie is on pings just naturally going to be a rather difficult thing to just get used to, because playing goalie is a lot of very timing based, right? Knowing when enemies gonna strikes and then how you will react to it. Same with forwards, obviously, and strike wars and everything. But I feel like with goalie, it's so much more crucial as well, because the moment you mistime something, it's likely a gun barrier or a goal in favor of the enemy side.
Yeah, and Oni's way will do with the flip coming out as well as Lucky Mana looking really low too. I mean, this is what this patch is all about: damage, damage, damage. As that orb's also stolen from him, and it might be looking very dangerous as they might even get a kill on her as they do. And Colin with flip still up means that their barrier, well, that not the barrier, but the goal will be held out for the time being if they're able to get a good flip off. But 2v3 power play for 2/3 right now as they're looking to convert on this, but it's going pretty slowly still. I mean, Scream Mouse hasn't been getting a good advantage so far, but Wood there just completely dipping Luki and also somehow killing Scream Mouse right there.
Yeah, the funny Zentaro dash into the flip from Kishiro was the thing that ended up taking out Alps there, but goals still found, and 2/3 are now looking the last goal of this set and trying to get a 2-0 lead in sets overall, which would be absolutely huge for him, because again, Sparks is also just so strong as a base snowball, due to even if you're starting to lose sets, but you already have Sparks, you're likely going to find Sparks in drafts further down the line, which is going to be so much stronger than most other Awakenings at that point.
Yeah, everything coming into the kitchen sink so far. Wood with flip, and Tournaments has also gone off the map. Luki Mana's coming back online, but still, it's a very nice power play. Grim almost having flip as well. So those Scream Elves too. They have so much potential coming into this point as one banish comes out. The dash comes in as well, and that's another set for 2/3.
Another set found, and the snowball will continue because, again, we're looking at likely an Alf's first pick, and there's a good chance there's another Spark in here, which will put him up to 3. Spark of Resilience is here. There's also a perfect form. The priority seems to lie on triple Sparks, which is fair enough. I think that mainly comes down to the fact that at the side of Warpilled just doesn't really have any excellent perfect form user, because obviously perfect form Zentaro is an insanely strong awakening as well.
Yeah, that third spark coming out is not looking good, and it doesn't even matter if they're not even like perfect form doesn't even matter in this situation. I mean, you could probably give it to Mako, but Mako hasn't been really getting any value out of it. Their strikes aren't coming out on time because of ping, and it's not really getting any value. But as this point comes out, so far, Scream Mouse has been putting in the work over and over. That Rune Banish doing so much, just keeping the core away, and no one really expecting it. Does secure that another barrier as Grim and Screamhouse are looking forward to try to take another point here. But so far, the core is on their side. Terminus and Lukimana doing their best to keep it alive as the Inky's cannon comes out and it ends up right back onto the side. As again, it looks so hard because one, the ping, and two, the amount of abilities being layered is so hard to fend against as a barrier comes through for the Rasmus, as Luki Mana and Terminus S are looking to keep up the pressure right now. They have to get something done in order for them to try to bring this point alive, but as Terminus S falling off the edge of Scream House has flip up, even tries to flip off Luki Mana, doesn't get it though, but she might be falling off the map sometime soon as Wood tries to barrage her off the map now. 2v3 power play with another staggered player alive, but Colin also with flip, means it's a 1v3 right now, but he almost finds it, the barrage saving it as Wood is trying to burn every ability to keep the point alive. The Scream House on Grim trying to look for something, trying to get it through so far, but Determinus S and Colin hold on, but it's the ping! The ping completely gaps them as Grim finds it to the top side.
Yeah, that core speed going off of that overtime pillar of the rune is just so difficult to react to, even in normal circumstances, and seemed to be a bit too much there for Kishiro at the time, as a 1-0 lead is now found for the side of 2/3 in this potential last set.
There's a last set, and Dina's Terminus S also gets staggered yet again. The damage is coming on so well, not even with Spark of Strength up on the Zentaro. But so far, Terminus S looking pretty low, has to escape for the time being as Grim still has Flip online, trying to look for something to kill another goal, might even kill Terminus S, but instead Terminus S is still alive. As the Rasmus Death Touch, just keep it alive for the time being as Wood gives up the barrier for the kills. Luki Mano edges forward, trying to put something done as they still just to keep it alive, but again, it's calling a 1v3, basically, with the banish coming online. And so with the flips as well. Grim almost with a great play. 2 flips being burned, but it's the third down. Almost a carrot. There we go. Match point for 2/3 to Scream Out. Shows it right in with the Zentaro special strike.
Yeah, the Centaurus just really unhinged at this point. Really not much you can do. The only saving grace for Orpilled right now is the fact that all 3 flips have been used from the side of 2/3, as Wood had to use her flip as well to stay out of the water cannon. But it's still an incredible uphill battle, and at this point it would be close to a miracle if the side of Orpilled will be able to find a game victory here. Because, again, barrier is open. They do actually trade the barrier now. 2 open barriers on both sides, but Grim with a great banish will just completely take out Kishiro from the equation and just translate this into the score. A convincing 3-0 victory for the side of 2/3, as they're going to move directly into winter finals. We do have a shorter bracket. I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, that BO1 coming to clutch as that team basically completely dominated that. I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it wasn't close at all if you really look at it, but that first set looked really dangerous. I mean, even look at the damage. Screamo was the only person above 20k for that matter. I mean, Inky's is not a map that you want to play damage on, but if you're able to get damage on it, it's pretty big as 6 kills were found versus 2 on the other side.
Yeah, and that damage, I think a lot of it, like, there was quite a bit that was deliberately trying to be put on, but a lot of it also kind of happened while just playing the game normally, because Zentaro does have a decent bit of AoE. The dashes will hit the core and the enemy at times, and that just naturally added up the damage on the side of Orpilled, and it just weren't really able to deal with it. As I feel like they had a really well-rounded comp, the side of Orpilled, but I think it just kind of came down to execution and being able to adapt to the environment properly that ended up not being able to secure them the win, as they will now go. down to the loser side of things.
Yeah, I mean, or Pill is definitely. I mean, again, every team is probably gonna be playing a decently like not as good as they want to because on ping. But from that first game though, I'm actually expecting a lot because they played that pretty well. I mean, the fact that you're on, let's say, I mean, 120, is that like a good rough estimate of how much ping someone can be on? Like
Uh,
120 on Montreal?
it kind of depends where you're from. I think 120 is one of the better estimates, or one of the better side. I feel like players that do reside in the UK or maybe close to around there are looking at the 110 to 130 range. And if you go further away from that, maybe you're dealing with a little bit higher ping. Uh, Obviously, this entire team, I feel like, does 2/3 that is, does get a decently good connection to central servers, but I don't think it's like crazy good. You know, it's probably in that 120 to 130 range, I would assume, but can't be fully certain.
Well, if it's 120 to 130, I mean, it's still kind of unplayable ping. I'm not like a big ping person either. I hate it when I have to play on 85 on Dallas sometimes because ISP sucks. But if you're playing on 120, 130, and we just saw that game right there, every strike was almost layered properly. Like
Hmm.
that's kind of crazy. That's kind of pretty good, and if we can expect more of that, I think this will, instead of it being a little bit scuffed as it is right now, it will look like a really good game. Well, good games to come at least.
Yeah, most definitely. But as we're getting stuff ready now for the winter finals, for information as well, the other game that has been played was East Eagles against Lobster Level, and East Eagles were taking that win. East Eagles being comprised of Tsuro, SMG, and Dinfar, three other very strong players in our region. They have now made it into winter finals and will take on 2/3. First time on ping in that section. But before they do that, we're gonna head into a small little break to make sure that draft and everything is set up properly. So you don't want to go anywhere. We'll be back in just a bit.
And welcome back, everyone, to the winners final of the EU Qualification show match. Comparatively to the last game, we're back to boringness, as we have to play on AtLab, Taiko, and Clarion for our best of 3, with East Eagles versus 2/3 first time on ping.
Yeah, it wouldn't be European teams playing if we're not getting AtLab and Tycho. And obviously, what's the third map that's the most similar to them? Yeah, probably Clarion. So figures that's what we're gonna be playing on, but it also just kind of makes sense because those maps are the preferences that we saw a lot around in USL as well, and obviously all of these players have played at various instances and versions of USL teams before, so they have their own preferences there as well. And the first game of those three obviously is going to be the AtLab, and that's the one that they're currently in the draft for as well. It's a spark of focus and missile prop start. Jurgen, anything you want to share about the picks that have gone down?
Oh, goodness. Oh, the Estelle pick. Oh, my beloved. I love Estelle. I've been one-tricking her a little bit too much recently, but Estelle into Rasmus Mako versus Luna Drakara and Juno. I mean, this is crazy. In return, we probably have Atsura Luna. You probably have. Actually, I actually don't know how this might go out. Is this Juno? Is this Juno SMG Juno lore?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't be aware of SMG having a Juno in his locker, but hey, I mean, who says no to it, you know? Like, it could happen, and we'll find out as we're now loading into the game for this first game for the AtLab. As a reminder as well, this will be a best of 3 winner moves on into grand finals already. So this is just one of the first games, and yeah. I feel like if we're looking at the draft, you're again just seeing comfortability come out though. Wood on the Mako, Grim on the Estelle, Alf's on the Rasmus. Not really a pick that he's going to be known for, but still a great pick overall, especially if you pair it together with that Estelle's pick. Although I am just worried, right? Because it's a missile prop start, and the side of East Eagles, they were able to pick up that Luna for Atsuro. She's incredibly strong on this character. Drakkar also being such a menace as well when having more range there. So expecting everyone to go Spark of Focus with the exception of those two, but we'll see if that's going to happen as we're now getting into the game here.
It's kind of split up between who takes Spark of Focus and Missile Prop. Wood, Grim, and SMG opting for Missile Prop well, actually, no, I lie. I cannot read. 4 of the 6, actually. 2/3. Smile. Taking up the Missile Prop as the game moves on for the most part. Lag kicking in so far as one barrier goes down on the AtLab. SMG actually looking pretty low. I might have lied when it comes to SMG. On the Juno, maybe it was a mistake on my part, but it says did fire on the Juno. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that since, I mean, I don't think I've seen that at all. I don't even know if you put that in the qualification process, no?
I don't think Dinfar is really a Juno player, but it's gonna come down to, again, what's also gonna be a strong pick, considering you're playing on delays, and Juno at times can play itself, right? Obviously, it's not a perfectly executed Juno, but if you're putting your blobs down, if you don't have the reaction time, well, the code of the blobs will have it for certain.
I hate Juno players, smile. But instead, it's the Raptors coming down online now. SMG finding a good kill with the missile prop. 2v3 power play now for the East Eagles as they take on one bear. Might even look for a second one as they capitalize, but Wood looking pretty low herself. I'm basically half staggered with a flip up too, but the place also for the time being a Scream House does come back online. And the corner fighting is very impressive. I mean, the fact that they're getting done so far is really insane as Atsura loses their second barrier too, but has to flip online, but almost saves the 2. He actually gets the save as well, as it's a good save by her, as Wood is currently trying to get the core back into the front lines as Grim and Scream also looking to score on this Luna with no dash and no stagger. Well, not even no stagger, but no energy meter.
Yeah, and it might be a bit difficult on an open net, especially like this, right? When you get such a dime from Alves there with a great hook, puts it into the corner of the goal. It's not really much she can do there, because that is like, as Luna as a baseline, the only way you can really defend that is if you have a rocket or a dash up, and even then it's going to be tough to time it properly to just not fly past it. And again, even though Luna is from the UK, so I think she does have a bit of a better ping to be playing on here, it's still going to be very difficult to do, but evidently she still finds value in this character as she takes one barrier, a KO being returned though from the side of 2/3.
So far looking pretty good as one flip comes down. Dunfar finding the second barrier two on this counteractive play. Now 2v2 for Dunfar currently. Trying to get something done as Wood has to flip it out from the Atsuro dash. SMG coming back online 2v3 now for the East Eagles. Has to find a second kill too. Wood left to stand at 1v3. And it's so close to coming down as Dunfar to the top side. We'll secure that second point. I mean, so far we've seen so much damage come out. Maybe it's because the missile prop so far with the Luna being able to eject it and then completely destroy HP with just a simple dash into missile. But so far, so much damage has been pumped out and so much capitalization. 2 is at 0, finds the first barrier, but also loses one of her own. Now with an Orba, she does have flip coming in, but it's still so damage oriented. I mean, Grim basically on nothing right now. That server has to flip now. SMG try to capitalize, try to get something done, but it's being solved up by Wood for the time being as they're trying to fight for this. But it just comes down to a simple strike where to be won as Dinfar finds another point, and that's a set.
That is a set one in favor of the side of East Eagles here, and the damage just kind of ended up coming through for them, right? You saw it at the end there, the HP bars on both Wood and Grim there are being a bit low. Not much they can do with it and work with it, and now that Hotshot's not in rotation, we do have 1-2 punch, which is going to be the most threatening pickup for the Juno here, and Dinfar is immediately taking that for himself as well. Twin Drive being a solid pickup for the Mako, again, just more defensive utility, more enabling the prime time going onto Atsuro here, enabling those rockets, and also disabling Estelle from taking that pickup. Estelle still very happy to pick up speed with Sax and Sax, so size on the Rasmus being a great pickup as well, especially if you are dealing with a lot of damage from the side of East Eagles. The recovery drone is going to actually help you a little bit, giving you a free pass on 1 KO, which can be the difference maker depending on the situation of the set.
Yeah, so far both teams making good use of their trainings already as one barrier goes down on both sides. The second barrier going down for Atsuro as Dinfar is looking pretty low comparatively. That Juno might be a very high priority kill if they have to deal with 1-2 punch on ping. As so far the play kind of stalls out for the time being. Grim with a great Rose Warp almost gets it. But Scream Elves is looking pretty low, has to take Atsuro's orb, and instead he's just in the perfect position. Atsuro missing the dash from onto Wood means that that core will fly right past her. And Scream's always able to capitalize.
Capitalize they did, but they do. It is a pretty even state overall. I feel like the levels are somewhat comparable. The energy is pretty comparable. So it's going to come down to who's going to find these barriers first and faster as well, as both of them actually now drop on the side of East Eagles here. Gets answered immediately as a double barrier as well, though, as we're now dealing with the 2 open goals here. SMG taking a lot of damage, or being pumped out by Wood. Grim and Alves has to use the evade. He's now 0 evades though, so if he's ever a little bit too close to the barrier, it's a very good chance he's going to be taken out. But Atsuro with a beautiful rocket dash will just sneak right through that offensive line, take that core, and put it right past Wood.
Yeah, Wood, I think, striking a little bit too early there, kind of trying to account for the ping and doesn't get it through. But I think, I mean, I wanted to talk about some of the, I'm kind of like getting into a little bit of what Slav's supposed to be doing, but SMG taking up the adrenaline rush. I mean, it's the adrenaline rush lore. If you take adrenaline rush, you're not gonna find any kills with it. And so far, he hasn't found a single kill, but instead he's found the goal right there. SMG with the shotgun blast into the bottom corner. But so far, no real kill has been found compared to like the last set. I mean, one was just found with you think Atsuro just dashing into one of the players on the other side, but still nothing has been found.
The kills haven't really been found, but I feel like they're not really needing to find them anymore. The way that the side of East Eagles is playing is just very strong on the control side as well, right? Being very interruptive and not allowing the side of 2/3 to really get an attack going. So they don't really need to force a KO if you can get the core through the defense as is. Now, that might change if they get even more KO awakenings, because as of right now, they do have damage, but obviously you need to use a lot of cooldowns to really create a KO with it. So I do feel like it's not as surprising that the KO hasn't been found just yet, but it's also not really what they're looking for, as Grim with a monumental miss on that goal, actually. Potentially big enough to lose the set here. We'll see how it plays out.
And so for the Course King solid for a time being, Wood having that Blast gets it for Owl, and so does Hatsura with the sword angle too. Screamo's looking pretty low as they might try to find a KO on him, but instead he has. Well, I don't think they're even going to look for the KO because he still has his recovery drone up. He actually does get KO'd, and now he has no recovery drone with not a lot of stagger as Dinfar does get the flip off, and so baits out Wood, and another kill is found. SMG with the ad rush proc almost can get anything done as Grim has to stall for the time being as Hatsura gets to push in, and Wood just in a 1v3. Grim not being able to be anywhere close means that East Eagles secure another set, and that's another set gone. And so is Hatsuro. I mean, first pick. What can you possibly grab from here? Oh my goodness.
Oh, well. We do have a few things here, actually. I feel like the prize fighter could snowball really strongly as well. The Monk Times could be a bit funny. I don't know. I'm not sure where Tsuru's preferences are going to be here. I feel like now that it's open, though, Wood should probably pick up that Chrono Boost. Goes for the Orb Replicator. Probably,
Orber.
probably a strat that I'm not familiar with, as the Monk Titans finds its way onto Tsuro. Aerials on Juno being great as well, giving that extra jump range. Spark being picked up for the side of Grim. Size on SMG, together with Among Titans, is going to give quite a bit of power to this Lizard as well, so we'll see how well that's going to end up being. And then the last one, another Spark for Alves. Alves actually being the only person that has 2 Sparks now, as from the starting Awakenings, there are only 2 people that end up taking Spark of Focus anyway, so not really the most high value, but still really good, considering their Spark of Strength also still in rotation.
Yeah, that, I mean, it wasn't even the spark that did anything, it was just the pure hit from the pendulum swing that sent SMG off the map and turned 2v3 power play. Coming online for them means that they secured that first point. And I'm actually gonna wonder how Atsura is going to interact with the core now. They're on ping, plus they took Among Titans too. I mean, if you can't strike the core, it's gonna be really dangerous, and Luna's already small enough. I don't think he can be any smaller. As she almost finds a kill on Grim too, loses the berry in the process. Now Grim basically back on max daggers. They took up the orb, but still the core is on their side of the field. I wonder how they're gonna possibly get it done, as Atsuro has so much pressure with just the missile prop into just being able to have so much free space in general, as they're working with no barriers here. Atsuro, and I mean, I just can't believe it. The fact that Atsuro has so much pressure, even though they're so small, and Luna is very notoriously bad at dealing with so much pressure if they have the core on their side. They're just able to get it right through and secure another point for East Eagles.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of works for Tsuro because she's incredibly proficient at being that aggressive goalie, right? Especially when she's on that Luna pick. So if she's stuck in a close 1v1, it's gonna be difficult to deal with it. She's still gonna hold it down quite well, but as it stands right now, the midfield control does go in favor of East Eagles, which really just enables this Luna pick. And you saw it over and over again. So many goals and so many barriers have been taken thanks to an Atsuro dash up front, and just being that third forward that's going to be so difficult to deal with. There, again, jumping up, being a nuisance to defend against, as now power play has started in favor of 2/3 though.
Yeah, have a little breathing room as Hatsura loses their second barrier, their unfortunate bounce with the core. But as Hatsura just pushing up again, forcing out the flip from Wood, but also loses their flip of their own. Now Scream, Owls, and Grim have a chance actually. Hatsura doesn't really have much to work with if they can get anything done, but SMG is right there with the flip in front of Wood's face. That's match point.
Match point for this game 1 here. Going into a lead now, if they do find the skull, but they don't really have a lot to work with. They have their normal cooldowns. Energy is getting rather low, so there might be an angle for 2/3 to go for maybe a KO here, but as it stands right now, Wood was not able to hold on to those barriers there, sadly. Both of them now down, and SMG and Din are looking to just translate this as soon as they can and go into the next game. A KO being found from SMG, that adrenaline rush now coming into play, enabling this Lizard even more as he finds the strike past Wood there, and the side of East Eagles will secure themselves the first game of the series.
Yeah. Oh, that was just a brutal game. The KO being found. I mean, that's kind of just enabled the fact that SMG was able to just shove all of his cooldowns into one basket and just completely outmaneuver Wood there in a really crazy 3-0 sweep. Actually, only 11 minutes there. Kind of just shows the prowess of the team count that was being introduced into this. 6 KOs versus 4. I mean, it's not really a lot to look at because of how fast the game was and maybe a little bit how scuffed compared to the ping, but it felt strong. I think East Eagles are in the game.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like they're just a really strong team overall as well because all of them have the benefit of being closer to most in terms of ping, so they might have a small advantage on that front. And then also just as individuals, right? It's Zero, second place USL season one, Dinfar being a sub for that same team, which was TMCT in season one, and SMG obviously having had a really good showing with Flames Kittens this season around in season two. Just three great individual players, and that is not in no way meaning that the other side, Grim, Wood, and Elves, are also not great players. They're also incredibly good, but they just haven't quite gotten the same tournament results than the side at the bottom of your screen currently has. So, experienced players with a wide character pool as well. That they can flex around a bit, and if you put that experience on those characters into a ping situation, sure, it might be getting a bit difficult to adjust to it initially, but ultimately all of these players have been in those situations plenty of times to have to get used to something, and once they're locked in, it turns out to be fine again. I feel like in this game as well specifically, there weren't really any major like ping related mishaps. Like there might have been a bit of a miscommunication due to positioning because you're playing on different timings, but overall I feel like it was pretty alright.
Yeah, definitely can agree. As we're heading into the second game, Taiko Temple. I mean, we kind of had a little. I mean, comparatively with the ping gap, I would say, Taiko Temple isn't really. I don't think it's a good map you want to play though. I feel like if you're on ping, you have to deal with course speed. It just doesn't work out. But again, it's Europe. I have no say in this.
The drums will be played no matter what, all right? And that's not because we play Mako goalie, it's because we keep going back to Taiko. So it's players are definitely enjoying that, and yeah, I feel like with Taiko as well, especially within EU, there's been kind of a strategy found that's kind of foolproof, which I kind of can feel like can also work well on ping, and that's just creation stuff, right? Just play on one side, put like an Asher up front, put a rune in midfield, and that's just so difficult to deal with. Or the same thing, NA has been playing Asher now for ages. Same thing applies here, obviously. So we'll see how what they're gonna opt for the draft, and what their priorities are gonna be going into this draft as well. I am expecting an Asher to come out because I feel like also Asher notoriously a character that does well when being put onto ping as well.
Yeah, and surprisingly, East Eagles are actually opting for the red side here, looking to take two people, well, taking two characters instead of one in the first draft. I mean, I think they're actually in the right mindset, actually, because the way that this draft is being played out, Deadeye heavy impact on the board right now for the draft awakenings. I mean, holy crap. If you see, I mean, it's prime for Mako Goalie and Luna again, no?
It's definitely strong picks. I'm just looking at a heavy impact. I'm looking at a damage heavy lobby. I'm looking at probably a Zentaro, and that's what ended up happening as well. Don't have the visuals as of right now. We're still working to get that implemented everywhere, but I can recap really quick. The striker draft has started. The side of 2/3 banned Juno, the side of Eagles banned Rune, and 2/3 opted for that Zentaro first pick. Just such a menace with a heavy impact, and that puts so much more value at being able to deny that 1-2 punch and that perfect shot off of Zentaro as well, because if you give Zentaro heavy impact and one of these awakenings, it's gonna be a long day for you.
Yeah, definitely can agree. As Eagles are actually looking to completely throw Grim out of the picture, taking his Estelle, banning Rune as well, and also taking up the Now. I mean, two midfielders. I think that they're trying to play the I mean, they kind of played it the last game too, with how they were handling court control really excessively well, as they're going Estelle now here, currently looking to keep up the double midfield presence, as 2/3 are kind of, I mean, they can just they can grab Mako, and it might not be as big of an issue because none of these characters are pretty good at winning the strike war, I feel like, and Mako's just queen of strike wars.
Yeah, I do wonder where this is gonna go, because the thing is, if you do lock in the Mako for 2/3, it's a question of what are you gonna put Grim on in the end, because you did mention it, right? Rune, Estelle, pretty solid like comfortability picks there. For Grim not available to him right now, as the picks have gone through actually. 2/3 picks Atlas and Drakkar, which means Grim gonna be under Drakkar. The Atlas I feel like gonna be a pretty smart pickup as well, due to just HP, right? Survivability, keep your players alive. You're dealing with a heavy damage awakening start, and obviously you're also dealing with Itsuro, and Itsuro just locked in Deadeye Luna, so that's gonna be a bit of a difficulty to overcome.
Yeah, that Luna pick is definitely going to be scary, considering how we just saw Itsuro completely destroy on the scene just with just anything, just dash into missile. Even the crater is going to be difficult to deal with because you're going to have to just evade and not be able to do anything in that matter. And again, I'm actually kind of surprised that no Mako was taken. I feel like Mako would have been the correct option. Heavy impact with Mako, like not even the Atlas can really do much. I feel like it kind of went wrong.
I
The
feel
Mako
like
was fine last game, no? I feel like,
it's probably ends up being obviously. First of all, we're still in Europe, yeah, right. We're not the biggest Mako pickers just yet. We probably should be, but we're still in Europe. But secondly, the Atlas is also gonna be a bit easier to execute, right? Because with Mako, you have short instances where you're using your abilities and that hits the core once, or maybe pushes them away as secondary as well. But you need to get those timings right. With Atlas, it's so much easier. You just toss the primary and that's just gonna stun the enemy and the core is gone. There's a huge timing window there as well to properly hit it. The secondary is gonna stay there for a few seconds. So it's about execution on that front, that Atlas being an easier pick to play on a delay. And on top of that, you're dealing with a heavy damage awakening combo, which in turn means that having that ultimate can actually be the difference maker, because KOs will be frequent, but will they be frequent enough to outdo an Atlas ultimate? I'm not sure about that.
yeah, I might be a noob when it comes to that. I mean, it could be just the adaptation to ping. I genuinely feel like Wood played fun on the Mako. It's just that it just, I mean, I feel like if they played Mako here, I feel like it would be just as fine as them playing on Atlas Lab. Plus, if you have heavy impact on Mako, it just makes it a lot easier to win, because if you're playing on the Zentaro heavy impact lore, then if you add heavy impact with the buff onto the Zentaro, making your cooldowns a lot more easier to access and use, it just feels so much more clean. And if you have heavy impact Mako, it makes everything feel a lot more clean. But we're gonna have to see whether or not it comes through. Screamo is actually opting for Vambrace instead of the usual siphoning one, as I've seen in a lot of the games. But so far, it's not even that Zero Luna. It's Dinfar Luna. Polars too.
Dinfar is definitely also a great Luna player, obviously, so I am surprised to see Din on the Luna here, but I guess it's just really about being that KO threat, having that Palmers to play with. And in terms of damage as well, right, the whole lobby, obviously, there's not really a choice to not go damage awakenings here, but I do not want to underestimate that now, with a heavy impact, can be quite lethal as well, because those cooldowns are coming out over and over again, gonna get activated so much more, and having that consistent like damage dump from that now is gonna enable Dinfar and Natsu so much more to actually find KOs there as well. Flip comes out from Scream Elves, finds the barrier, 2 open goals now, but pummelers Luna together with Deadeye being a bit lethal on the edge there.
Oh, and the strike warrior back into Dinfar to completely reading Wood there, finding that first point. And now it's all just mental at this point now. You kind of just have to not give those up. And that's kind of soul crushing that you lost the first point off of just a simple mishap, but it's only 1 point so far. You can only see how far this goes, as both teams are looking very good in the corner, actually. I mean, both teams were able to find very good offensive pressure almost immediately if they get the core on their side, as one barrier goes down as they try to attempt now. Dinfar with Flip will actually use to find a second barrier as well. SMG almost with Flip too, just has so much pressure with the now just being in the corner and everything, as they have Flip as well. So they're also pushing up too to add on to more pressure as they're trying to keep this core alive. SMG also using the Flip too, and Shiraz does catch it. It also sends SMG off the map too. Now 2v3 power play. Almost going to be a 1v3 if they're able to kill Dinfar. But now Atsuro kind of just keeps it alive for the time being. And Dinfar still looks really low.
Yeah, just really difficult for Din to really do much, because Grimm's just continuously put out that shotgun, right, directly into his face. But Dinfar also just gets healed up by now fully, and then gets a beautiful dash to just secure the goal here. Wood not being able to use the flip in time there to get a 2-0 lead now for the side of East Eagles in his first set.
What an angle, and it's so clean. Even with ping, it just looks so impressive to actually land those. as Atsuro and Dinfar are looking to capitalize off of this newfound execution ability, and it looks like they're doing so well so far, but now they have to worry about stagger, as Dinfar is looking really low, even staggered off the map now. One hit will actually send them flying off the map as they have to evade now. Wood losing one berry in the process. Counter trying to keep it alive and trying to also find a kill, but Dinfar does heal back up to 50%, and they're safe for the time being.
For the time being, for sure, but you saw it through the gameplay from Alf. He's looking for those KOs. He's trying to make use of that heavy impact on Tara, but right now, he's the one getting pummeled. That's the ultimate from Wood will actually keep him on the board. That is going to be on cooldown for 40 seconds now, though, so if Dinfar finds a good Luna rocket with that pummelers, with that Deadeye as well, that might be all it needs, as now Alf sets himself up to take the first barrier, tries to go for the second one as well, but doesn't quite connect with the core. Otsuro also playing in a very aggressive Estelle, by the way, with the eject button playing it properly out as well, creating even more pressure on the side of Wood here.
Oh, the Yellow secondary takes that own bear as Wood has to fight now with no flip and almost no secondary. I think that secondary won't be up for the time being, but so far, plays are stalling out for the good of the team, but it's Atsuro with the strike into flip into the pop side too. Grim not being able to react to that in time, and that's a set for the East Eagles as Atsuro takes MVP. Now, what a really very close game it is. Well, it's not even. It feels like it is close because of the barrier takes, but it just feels like East Eagles are completely dominating the scene as Atsuro has so much to pick from. They could even go aerials to make it so that they have more pressure.
I do wonder if that's going to be the case here as well. More interestingly, the specialized training finds its way down to Dinfar here. So the evade tax is going to come into play for certain, because if you're not using it, you're just going to be taken off the map with all that force, with the Deadeye, with the pummelers, with the specialized training. That Crater Maker is going to be absolutely disgusting. There's no other way to say it. But the rest of the draft as well, obviously. Solid pickups, more range for Tsuro. Reverberation, another awakening that has found its way back. A great pickup for SMG here as well.
Yeah, SMG just making use of his abilities so often. I mean, even with the heavy impact now, it just feels so impressive to wield, especially with Reverb as they find a second barrier too. And even Dinfar was low, now he's not. And that barrier and that goal is gone as well. It's here with the great deflect. I mean, just a great stun into the hit stun into just the goal in general is just so strong, and it looks like East Eagles have complete domination over the game. The Atlas isn't really coming to play either. A lot of these goals they could be saved, but I think it's just ping that, and just the fact that you're not used to ping, it just feels so uncommon to just to deal with.
Yeah, and I feel like the side of East Eagles are also playing a very interesting game plan, right? Because what are you doing usually to get past an Atlas? You're locking in a heavy force, you're locking Asher, you're locking Julie, you're locking something like that, and just trying to go through them or try to play around them properly. The side of East Eagles here, they're just locking in 3 midfielders, and they're just all attacking from range. And you can see Atsuro, again, such an aggressive line here, almost getting a second goal of the set as well. Just doing such a good job at utilizing this Estelle properly, as Alfs with a flip will find the barrier here. Tsur though still holding on to the point, but the angle was a bit too tight as Alfs intercepts it and evens out the set.
Yeah, it was a great play by Alves there, actually finding the conversion flip into the barrier and eventually finding the goal too. I mean, they've shown a good. Everyone's shown greatness. I feel like this can go either way, but so far, East Eagles are actually handling this really well as they're keeping it alive and even evades the kill too. Dinfar almost getting knocked off. Will survive for the time being. The evade tag's also coming through too. Grim not being able to help out defend that barrier, but it's so close to being gone as Scream Owls almost gets it too with the Oni's blade, completely putting up pressure as that corner offense is kicking in so far. Second barrier will be found on Atsuro's side, and now Grim and Owls are looking to capitalize, maybe bring this up equal, and they almost base, and they're one step closer now as they took another point.
Another point in favor to the side of 2/3, and I feel like this set also could have quite strong meaning behind it, whoever wins it, right? Because the thing is, I feel like this game's going to devolve into who's going to snowball harder, right? Because both teams have avenues to get really strong, right? The Zentara, obviously, on a damage start like this, can absolutely take over a game. Same thing applies to the Now, though. If she gets perfect form, she gets Monumentalist or something like that, she's going to be such a menace to deal with as well. So I feel like winning these sets here has so much more value to it, because you get that priority on the draft, and you have that chance of getting all of these strong awakenings for yourself.
Yeah, and the core ricocheting right back around the world, back to Screamoffs too, puts Tsuru in a very nasty spot to try to keep it away, but she does keep it away for the time being. Now everyone's at an open net now. Dinfar almost capitalizing off of it, almost equalizing it, but instead saved by what has been playing on a impressive performance so far, even has flipped to show, as it is unfortunately deflected by SMG. What a proximity mine as it sends to the top side, and now East Eagles somehow bringing that point back up, and now it's tied, and it can potentially snowball even harder if they're able to win the set.
Yeah, it definitely can, and it's already begun a little bit on that snowball because that Luna just came with a single rocket and just completely took out the Scream House there. As they do trade barriers, in the end, they're not quite able to set themselves up for a solid attack. Wood holding an offensive line here as well, very strong on the Atlas on a map like this. So we'll see if the side of East Eagles can get themselves properly set up here. Itsuro has a flip to use if she does need to use it defensively, but it doesn't look like it right now.
Doesn't need it just yet as everything's coming through, but Sir loses their second barrier. That time is unfortunate as now Wood and Grim and Screamups as well have a chance to equalize the sets here if they're able to find anything. He's been doing good in the corner. Let's see if he can make it happen, make some magic work as Grim and Screamups are trying to chip away, but Dinfar making everything out of the kitchen sink, making everything useful as Atsura has to flip and finds the kill too. Oh my goodness, and that's another set. That's just unfortunate right there.
Also, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't Itsuro been scoring the most goals for the side of East Eagles so far? I feel like in this set, 2 out of 3 goals that they did score was from Itsuro.
Yeah.
So a lot of proficiency being shown on this Estelle with the eject button and being aggressive, and there's a Monumentalist in here, and Wood is not hovering it. So I wonder if that's going down to SMG. I would hope not. It does.
Oh. Oh.
That's gonna be fun to deal with, because now those mines are gonna be already pretty damaging, and now they're gonna be even bigger and even more difficult to deal with. 1-2 punch being a pickup for Alves is huge as well, though, because that's gonna be great together with the heavy impact in terms of damage. And the Stagger Swagger finding its way onto Grim gonna help with survivability for Grim as well, so we'll see how this plays out, but I feel like overall, this Monumentalist on now is going to be quite something to deal with. Not to mention, Twin Drive on Itsuro, who's already been playing so aggressively and so well aggressively, is definitely going to help her a lot more as well in that regard.
Oh, the evening out though. I feel like Monumentalist now has kind of opened up by I think you mentioned earlier with the heavy impact 1-2, but Dinfar finding the goal there. I was gonna mention how Scream House kind of evened out the playing field because just the amount of damage that he's been doing compared to everyone else. If you look at the stagger bars on 2/3 rather than East Eagles, it looks like they're very killable too, but it depends on where you position yourself, and so far Dinfar has found every capitalization on positioning so far, and if they're not able to just stack down on top of each other, there we go, that first kill being found. If they're not able to do that more often, this game can easily go out of control very quickly if they're not able to. But so far, Scream House is doing a really good job keeping the damage, keeping the pressure, making sure they're always on their toes. As Dinfar is basically brought to no stagger, but thankfully that now comes back online, does get the heal off, and now Wood back to nothing. As Dinfar finds another goal to stun, and that's match point. East Eagles can just walk their way to grand if they keep playing like this.
Yeah, I think Wood misread that missile a little bit. I think she expected that missile to hit the core, so she wanted to wait out the missile to strike afterwards to not be a fool and being outstruck by the missile there, but it actually just was aimed at Wood directly, and she just gets stunned, can't really defend anymore, and the attack does not stop as the East Eagles find both of these barriers. Grim returns one. Grim close to flip as well. Bit scary because due to that, he did not opt to evade that ultimate. A lot of HP being tossed out there. The Atlas ultimate having to be used as well. But Screamhouse with a nice interrupt on Itsuro there will confirm the second barrier. And now, instead of 2/3, they need to find the goal right here.
They have to find a goal right now, as Wood and Grim are looking to capitalize. Now Screamhouse was above the 2/3 mark, which actually could have a flip in these next few moments, but the core goes wide! Oh no! Atsuro finding the last point there. That was a slow goal to watch. As East Eagles come out to the grand finals, and 2/3 will be relegated down to the lower bracket. But again, this could be a rematch. Orpill, they're back, and now 2/3 and Orpill will be our next match.
Yeah, I do feel like that did just kind of come down to the fact of, hey, we are still playing on ping, right? Because he saw it right there quite often. Like, the players were largely ready to deal with it. But all of their abilities, the strike shot and everything, it just ended up being a bit mistimed, right? And that slight mistiming there, that can just cost you the game, sadly. And in the end, it did. But I feel like East Eagles had a very confident showing in these two games and are definitely deserving to move on into Grands as well. So we'll see how they're gonna deal with it then. But first, we do have, as you mentioned, 2/3 going into the losers final against Orpild. So that is gonna be fine and dandy.
Yeah, Tsuro. I mean, you kind of mentioned earlier, Tsuro's been scoring a lot, and a Tsuro goalie, more like a Tsuro brawler right there. 4 goals, actually on the same level as Dinfar, both scoring 4 goals, and SMG only scoring 1. You won't even tell if she was the brawler or not, or the goalie for that matter. And even more of a cinema note, the time, 12 minutes and 34 seconds. What a game!
Yeah, convincing showing for sure. But with that, we're gonna go again into a small little break as we're getting everything ready for loser finals. So do not go anywhere, as we will be right back with you again. And welcome back to the low losers final that we have. We are having Orb Pilled up against the side of 2/3 here, and they're going on to Taiko Temple. Taiko Temple? No, I think this is Atlas Lab. They just loaded into the wrong lobby. Hey, classic. Well, we're on Atlas's lab, we're on Stinger and Spark of Agility. So I feel like with Stinger, we're again just seeing a little bit of KO cope. What do you think, Jurgen?
Oh, KO Comp, my beloved. I mean, Stinger, also my beloved. Oh, I love Stinger. Well, totally not biased because I used to be not a KO person. Now I'm a very big KO person, but I love Stinger. Smile, totally. But we already did draft, and I'm actually surprised. The Orpod actually bringing out a decent comp now. Zen Kai now versus the Aimi Stowe Rasmus. I mean, Aimi, I think it's gonna be Aimi goalie, and versus a Zen, that's gonna be, I think, a lot of capitalization for Orb.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like it's just, I don't know, it's rough. Because for me, Stinger start, I'm still like stuck on old Stinger, where it's like so disgustingly broken that it's just either you kill first or you get killed. And I'm not sure if it still is in that same state. And in that regard, I'm looking at who of these teams can apply Stringer the easiest and the most consistent. And I think in that regard, you just have Zenkai now. Like, Zen just does it so well now, consistently puts it everywhere as well. So I do wonder where it's going to go, but it looks like maybe I just have the wrong read on Stinger, because there's only 2 Stinger pickups in this lobby, as Terminus Est on the Zentara picks it, and Wood on Amy takes it. The rest of the lobby opting to go Spark of Agility.
And so far, oh my god, 5-second KO already. Terminus is already off the map as Scream Mouse and Grim look to capitalize off of a 2v3 power play in position now as Wood is trying to get everything done. That barrier also falling as Luki, Mana, and Colin are looking to try to just keep it alive for the time being, as Terminus does come back online. A lot of KO potential coming out now. Colin actually falling off the map. So almost Luki, Mana. Luki, Mana puts put in the perfect position to evade it. And oh my god, 29-second point right there. Already 2 KOs being found for Scream Owls, Grim, and Wood. And even though they didn't even take up the Stinger, they might not even need it.
They might not need it, but the damage is still here. The damage is still here, and it's gonna stay. It is Atlab, right? So the Black Hole is gonna come into play a bit as well. But ultimately, we are still dealing with a very lethal team come from both sides here, as one barrier now ends up dropping on the side of Orphild as well. And 2/3, they had a good showing in winners finals, but wasn't quite enough. They're now trying to make their way back up, right? If they win this game, they're going into Brands. And they're not really trying to make this any long endeavor, as again, both barriers down and the second goal already in.
Yeah, it just feels like 2/3 are completely outplaying this team by long measures. I mean, it's not even just outplaying, it's just that Scream has been doing such a good job as well as Wood keeping up the pressure. As the Yami's one barrier already falls. Those are really quick barriers falling over and over as Terminus asked and Lukimon trying to look for something, but they can't do anything if they're getting completely stuffed out of the play because they're really low. And Lukimon even forced to burn the flip on the defense, thankfully. Golem does catch those, and 2 barriers will fall as a return as Terminus S has the flip up basically. Will be saved out by a Wood as it almost gets deflected, and Luki Mana not just in the right position, no one's in the right position for that matter. Colin was pushed all the way up, and even staggered too. It's not looking that good if they're unable to get unstaggered. Thankfully they are. Terminus S is able to put it right in, but the Kaz into just a weird awkward position for the core to be in, just sends it right through, and Terminus S secures that very scuffed first point for Orpild.
Crucial point, though, to get the momentum rolling. Kishiro also has a flip soon, so maybe he can look for an aggressive Kai play here, as he's also running that eject button. But right now, Grim and Alf's just setting themselves up too well, making it too difficult to really defend there, as now a Barry gets traded back and forth. Alf's actually really low now. The Stinger kind of coming into play, burning him out. Or being a pickup for him, though, is going to keep him alive, as now Grim is looking to translate this gold. Strike doesn't quite come out from Grim in time there. But Kishiro does have a flip if he needs to use it. Let's see if Alex can set himself up. No, it doesn't need to, because a piercing shot from Grim will secure this first set in favor of 2/3.
Yeah, and Grim has been lining up those piercing shots extremely well, finding just so much value over and over, and being the MVP of the set means a lot of thinking coming from the board. I'm specifically looking at stacks on stacks, or maybe even heavy impact to deny from Zentara, who might need it. But I feel like it's the stacks on stacks play, because if you want, because they already have so much, they have so much domination, and instead they're gonna go for the we don't live anymore. Stagger Swagger's been picked up, and it looks like they're playing completely on KO now. They just want to KO and hopefully get this game over with.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of the saving grace for the side of Warpilled. If they can get this entire online and can have him have 0 cooldowns, he can play a lot more of the core and also just do a lot more damage output. But the side of 2/3 are just not dealing with it at all. They go survivability, they go core control because that extra special on Amy is going to be so difficult to defend against, and the big fish for Rasmus is going to enable Alves to be so much more lethal as well up front. As you can see, it's 2
Yeah,
barriers
and
down, goal down as well.
oh my god, I mean, I kind of just interjected there for a moment, my bad, but that point went quickly. 12 seconds already gone, and Terminus has also just somehow just disappeared. I kind of looked away for like a quick second, and boom, he just disappeared off the map. I just feel like this team is so strong when it comes to kill potential that they're not. They don't even care. They don't even need to care about the core. Both barriers going down for Wood though. Maybe this is a turning point, but if they're able to just keep Terminus out of the play, because he hasn't been even moving out of the midfield position much. He's just been getting hit over and over, and he's basically almost always on basically staggered points. As Screams are looking to get something, and there we go. Luki Mana flying off, almost flying off, but instead it's calling with the secure. But Luki Mana just completely getting destroyed off of just one Atlas explosion. It just shows how much damage is being thrown onto everyone. And I think that was their game plan from like the start of the game. If they could just outplay them by just completely damaging them, it could be looking grim already as a 10-second point appears on the board already. Grim finalizing it with the Rose Warp too.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure coming out from the side of 2/3, almost immediately being able to take that point and get themselves in the lead, even though that the side of Warpilled just got a goal before that, trying to get some momentum and pick it up again, just immediately answered, and the pressure does not go down in any way, as Terminus has also been, again, being put down into Stagger, now trying to get out, but it's hit by the Amy turret consistently, as Grim has a flip now as well, doesn't need to use it, barrier goes down, and a clean pass into the pendulum swing from Screamhouse will secure the second set in favor of 2/3 here.
Yeah, this is just spiraling. It's just spiraling completely out of control. It just looks so hard to deal with because again, Rasmus being MVP has a lot to choose from. Not really a lot, but they could just pick up the build up friend, their best right there in this carousel awakening line. As instead they go for the Sparker Rizzo, completely just denying any stagger from every character. They can even go for aerials too, which they do go for as well. I mean, they're just completely this draft is completely won. It feels like for 2/3. I mean, I kind of forgot they also took the spark in the process, but still, it just looks completely unwinnable right now because of how low they've been getting over and over consistently.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just a lot of execution that goes well from the side of 2/3 as well, right? They've barely been making mistakes in the way they're setting themselves up, and the side of Warpilled, they're just not really able to play the game as much, right? It's not even necessarily just purely damage, it's just being able to play around the setup so well, interrupting, kind of like that jump from Grim there as well, interrupting the side of Warpilled whenever they do want to touch the core, and just not giving them the chance to play. And the best way to see that is by the fact of levels, right? By Warpilled being all stuck at level 3 right now, Grim having touched it into the level 6 as well, and it's just so strongly controlled from the side of 2/3 right now.
Yeah, Muluki Mana exploding off the map and Grim getting a double bear in the process too. The power play and everything it just thrown into the corner there. Wood actually carrying that match point right now for Orpil. And as you said earlier, they've been just playing this. They've been playing this perfection right here. The fact that they've been getting so many consistent setups going on just shows the prowess of this team. As still Kukimana and Clone looking to fight back. Grim actually taken out to really stagger level, but they did in so trading both barriers. And now Screamhouse just has a chance to send it right through, and he does, securing the free goal to the top side. And that was a really fast game.
Yeah, the side of 2/3 not happy with having lost in that winners finals, just trying to cut it out, like just close it out as fast as possible, saying, hey, look, this is a best of one, we don't want to waste too much time here, we're gonna lock in, we're gonna play our best game, and we're gonna take this clean as a 3-0, as it felt like there's not really much that the side of Orpil could do in this game. Really great showing from 2/3 here.
Yeah, that 8-minute, 29-second game will bring them up back into the grand finals where they were outclassed by East Eagles, but we're going to see if they can turn this around for good. As, I mean, oh my goodness. the reader account and oh my god, I'm in like complete shock right now. That was way too fast of a game.
Yeah, matter of fact, it was an 8-minute game, so 8.5 minutes. So not a lot to be done there, but I feel like we're not gonna waste too much more time here as well, because now Grand Finals is up. The side of 2/3 are going to move up into Grand Finals to go up against East Eagles again. They do have to go through a Grand Finals reset if they do wish to be the team representing EU. But before that will go on, we're going to get everything ready again, and we'll go into another short little break. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit. And welcome back, everyone, to now the grand finals in between East Eagles and Two Thirds. It is a run back, right? So we do see that actually correct. Yeah, so we do have a finals reset. So this is going to be a full BO3 to be played out, right? So you do, if the side of East Eagles will just take this win just straight up as is, then they just won the whole thing. They get to represent Europe at the show match. And if they do not win, there's going to be another best of three being played out in between both of these teams right here. But first of all, we got this best of three, and it's Atlab, it's Taiko, and it's Oni Village. So, shocker, Atlab Taiko back in.
I can't believe they added Oni Village for comedic effect, just in case. If we don't win, we're gonna torture you for another 30 minutes by watching us hit the core back and forth on a very, very fun map. Can't believe it. Atlas Lab, though, is primetime Super Search start. We do see a Zentaro on the side of the Eagles, so this is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, Zentaro, especially with the awakenings that we do have, right? We're on Atlab for the game one. The awakenings that we have are going to be primetime Super Surge. So obviously Zentaro Super Surge is going to be quite a valuable asset for the side of East Eagles here. We'll see how well that's going to translate into just pure KO ability, right? Because it is still Atlas's Lab. Atlas's Lab will have a lot of KO potential in this game. And obviously, again, you're combining it with, I would say, likely Atsuro Luna, but I've been proven wrong once before, so who knows?
I mean, 2/3 rocking the same lineup that they did last game. Grim on Estelle, one on the Amy, and Scream Elves on the Rasmus versus Matsura Luna. We're gonna see whether or not this plays into how it did last time with Matsura just completely dominating. But so far, games coming out as slow as before. The one barrier falling apart. Now both barriers falling apart. Now the SMG getting a great dash with Dinfar here to back it up, but it's Grim who finds the kill. But instead, it's SMG puts it in. He died.
Yeah.
What a skill issue.
It seems a bit rough, but yeah, obviously the damage output is gonna be there. The edge is also still gonna be a very, very prominent danger. I do like the change, though, at the side of 2/3, by the way, because 2/3, in their last approach going up against these Eagles, they played a more of defensive goalies, right? They opted for the Mako picks on Wood, they opted for the Atlas pick on Taiko Temple, and they're changing it up, right? They're realizing, hey, we got a Super Search start, we have an Amy in our pocket as well for Wood. Let's try locking that in, see how maybe a more aggressive approach will work. And as it stands right now, obviously we're still very early into the game, but in terms of KOs, it's very much working out as they were just in a power play. And again now as well, Din on that Kai pick, not very strong in the survival department, also a bit low on HP there.
Yeah, now Dinfar, the one exploding, SMG exploded earlier, and now Screamo is almost exploding further for a moment. It actually gets back up to full HP, as Wood has to flip out for grabs. Now, Graham looking to capitalize, has to flip up, but it's SMG who capitalizes off with the read. Great ROA rush to punish that pass, and now it's 2 up now for East Eagles. As the energy department too, looking very, very strong as through with flip and SMG basically with flip 2 as one barrier does fall down, but instead of the flip going down, Atsuro falling off the map, Grim finding his 3rd kill of the set so far, and they try to soundways Hegel as well, and SMG, oh my god, a double kill too, holy, oh.
It went south very fast as soon as Atsuro was being taken off the map there. Didn't try to get fancy with it, didn't find the angle, another kill being found. It's the first goal in favor of 2/3 here. But it will it be enough for them to come back, as Alf seems to be having some kind of issues as they're trying to figure that out. Yeah, this is DC'd, so we are hopefully getting him back soon as it stands, as KOs are getting cut out by Sorrow as well. Alf's not back to being reconnected. Very unfortunate time to DC, but seems like they're going to continue playing.
Oh, another kill being found yet again, and SMG with the flip and will secure that. That was a very scuffed point. Both pairs being taken as well. I think they just wanted to play it out so the set was over because they already knew what was gonna happen. That's sure the MVP rating over this game for that matter has so much to choose from. Extra special on the board, but so is a stagger swagger as well. We saw I guess one game earlier where they took away that stagger swagger and basically not allowed them to live, but Atsuro opting for the extra special makes a lot more damage, will be brought onto this roster.
Yeah, and then just a lot of evade attacks as well. And the thing is, as well, you have SMG. SMG's getting either perfect form or heavy impact. So again, really high value awakenings for the Zentaro. Size finding its way into Alfs, and the Stagger Swagger gonna help Wood a bit as well with staying on the map. But the damage is definitely gonna grow exponentially at this point, because now you have a heavy impact Super Surge Centauro who can almost single-handedly take you out, combined with the fact that Itsuro now has evade attacks on a, what, roughly like 30-second cooldown?
Yeah, it takes a lot of time to build up this energy as well as Grim looking pretty low, but so is Dinfar too, actually walking back for the orb, capitalized off by Wood, there being their no midfield presence, as Asura's knocked off the map and Scream Elves is able to capitalize off of it. That super surge and build different, working a lot of magic as well as being able to stay alive for that time, being vicious Vambrace being on the board, making Screamers a lot harder to kill. And again, even though he gets hit, I mean, he just explodes for fun. The Luna Crater Maker into Barrage into Giga Blast surely sent someone off the map at that rate.
Yeah, it's just so KO heavy. I feel like very little points have just been like one team just outplaying the other or just forcing it through properly. A lot of it is happening through power plays by just that damage output that's coming up from both sides here, as now the side of East Eagles will have to defend this open goal. A KO being found by Wood as well. The Super Surge Amy just showing all of its value as they do try to find the second goal of the set for them here and potentially try to find the first set win after that for them, as the Pendulum Swing from Scream Elves will actually secure the goal. It's sort of not much she can do about that.
Yeah, and even Dinfar looking pretty low himself, just getting knocked around like as flimsy as a straw right there, as SMG has to they just kind of have to come back from this, as they've been getting hit so far, but so far they've knocked Scream House out of the equation so far. He is staggered, but Atsuro misses their dash and will give up a bear for the time being. Grim also with a flip as well. Somehow he's not killed, and there's a free goal right there. Grim with a flip up to the top side will secure their first set, and this is a complete turnaround from what we saw in the winners, well, the original winners finals.
Yeah, 2/3, they've found their groove. It looks like they're just doing so much better when they have Wood on maybe a more offensive pick, because this set just felt very controlled for them. It was very difficult for the side of East Eagles to play, and that's the kind of environment that they need to find themselves in. Looking at this draft here again, though, Deadeye going to be even more damage for the side of Wood here as well. Chrono Boost going to enable the Kai a lot more, but Kai's still going to suffer with survivability, because that's like, you can be as fast as you want with Kai, but if you're just being able to get KO'd consistently, it's going to be a lot more difficult. The Big Fish being a deny off of Scream Elves there as well to disable this Rasmus even further. And the Stinger, another damage pickup for SMG. The Centauro is looking pretty dangerous in terms of damage numbers here, but they need to find the kills first as well.
Yeah, but so far they've been doing good on the damage to top environment so far, as basically everyone has to stay away from the dead from the time being, all the abilities being thrown out consistently, as Atsuro has to keep this away from Grim, who's currently doing most of the work, as Dinfar is looking really low too. He even put on stagger level yet again, almost getting bullet by a black hole, as well as he basically advised for the time being, as SMG has to win a couple of strike wars just to keep it alive. But Dinfar finally falling off the map, but at what cost? Grim, Alves, and Wood are pushing up in this process. Atsuro almost holding on to the barrier as well as they're trying to fight it through. As Scream House with the death touch hooks it away from Atsuro and finds another go right there. This is not the 2/3 we saw in Winners Finals. This is a new one.
Yeah, they're finding the groove, they're finding the coordination that they need to. And the side of East Eagles probably taken a little bit by surprise, right? This is a very different game to be playing. Before they had a bit of an easier time, but right now it's not as easy. And as I say that, they're just setting themselves up beautifully. Dinfar with that Kai Barrage actually forcing it through the entire defense of 2/3 there.
Yeah, it didn't even matter if SMG was basically left for dead or not. If they could score as quick as they possibly can, then there's no need for stagger. As so far, this game has been proven to be very, very quick in terms of how people have basically sold their way through, as Wood has to back off for the orb, leaving that first barrier wide open, as Atsuro has to flip up, looking to do something about it, but so far everything's being stalled out. Another missed dash from there. Unfortunate timing from Atsuro there. I mean, early we saw them just hitting everything, but I think 2/3 are in the right mindset now, as they're basically looking to take both barriers too. Denver has to play life, and he's basically unable to, even with the orb, he's basically getting knocked off the map in his entirety, as he's basically trying to live now. Scream Owls have the chance to get it out, as Grim looks for the KO as well. 2v3 power play yet again for 2/3 as they're looking to kick this game under control, but instead it's Atsuru who finds another kill as they're trying to set up, and they do the perfect pendulum swing, hitting it right past Atsuru with the wood sentry turret to keep it in the corner. And there we go, another point for 2/3 as they're looking to take on a set lead, actually.
Yeah, they are not far away from it as another barrier drops as well on the side of East Eagles. They really need to kind of get an attack angle going here, but it's so difficult because all this damage gets pumped into Dinfor consistently. The midfielder out of the play makes it more difficult, but SMG finds the 2v1 there to get both the barriers. Open nets on both sides now as Alce is low, but the Van Brace are slowly healing him back up again, making him be able to play the game. And the side of Din actually is going to take a lot of damage there, as the attack doesn't quite find its target yet. Grim does still have the piercing shot, does go wide though, as Dinfar passes up to SMG, tries to get an attack going, but Scream Elves punishes positioning and damage again. KO power play in favor of 2/3 here. Can they find the goal to get the second set win and put themselves in a lead? No, Atsuro doing such a good job defending as it is right now, and just not finding the angle, but Grim gets the piercing shot actually. Atsuro caught off guard, not getting the reaction in time. And a 2-1 set lead for the first time in this matchup for 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3 have been putting on a great performance, and they will be rewarded, actually, it feels like, but they have to deny the specialized training from Luna. If they don't, I mean, I think this is just a winning track right now. They have so much energy into this. They actually opt for the rapid fire, leaving out the energy evading tax for Atsuro. If you can't evade, then you're basically doomed from the start. And even Zentaro picking up that ad rush as well. They've been doing so much damage. This can easily spiral out of control if you're not careful.
Very much can. Now, the specialized training is just going to make it so the Luna Crater Maker is going to hurt a lot more, but if your energy management is good enough, you don't really mind it as much, right? So, Crater Maker is incredibly lethal if it does hit, but as long as you can evade it, it's going to be fine. And as it stands right now, you do have opportunities to evade it. And again, you don't have to worry about being KO'd as much if you're just a team taking them out first, as again, open net power play for the side of 2/3 here. And SMG, no evades, no nothing, is just about to be KO'd as well.
Yeah, looking for a kill. It is. What is it? Looking for something. They actually find a kill on Atsuru. And SMG's still alive. Now he's not anymore. It's Dinfar. I can't do anything. And it's an ace on the board. Oh my goodness. A Jakar question mark as well. What have you done? This team is on fire right now. 3 KOs on the board as they lock in another point. And they're one step closer to finishing up 1-0. A complete contrast to what they said before. But it's up to them whether or not they can evade those. As Scream was put really low. That ad rush can come in anytime soon.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the issue with both of the forwards that the side of East Eagles have picked here, because both Centauro and Kai, they're just not really great characters when it comes to surviving, and put that against a Wood on the aim, he was doing such a good job on it. Put that against Grim, who has so much experience playing Estelle in an aggressive manner, and it's just gonna be so difficult, nigh to almost impossible to stay alive, as again, the attack comes through. Whether that secondary was coordinated with Grim or not doesn't matter, because it put it past Atsuro. And now 2/3, 1 goal away from taking a game lead in this first game of this Grand Finals.
A very scary game indeed, but one upside is that if Scream Mouse isn't able to completely keep out, if he's not able to save his energy for the next point, he will take a lot of damage there. But so far, they're starting out the play really well. But Wood actually burning their flip in the process, with Grim looking really low too. It's not what you want to see, as SMG tries to capitalize off of it. Will get the capitalization, even finds the kill, even finds the adverse proc. 2 kills on the board as an explosive banner comes onto play. SMG trying to keep the team alive right now as they edge out another point on the match point set. And potentially this can be a reverse sweep right now. If they can get Scream Elves off the pancakes, because he's at 70 right now, it could be big.
Could be absolutely huge, and the thing is as well, flips are going in favor of the side of East Eagles, and you can see it just by SMG's gameplay as well. They're just looking to get us Alf's instead as fast as possible, but it gets so much damage being put onto both the forwards on the side of East Eagles here. Flip comes out from SMG, doesn't find its target though, and the barrier does drop. But you have an open goal now on the side of East Eagles. Can 2/3 translate this into a goal?
They could potentially, as everyone looking KO, double KO comes out. Screamo's right there, and Atsuro misses. That's a game for 2/3 as they take it up 1-0, potentially edging their way one way closer to another bracket reset. That was an impressive performance by all of them. I think they found the groove.
That was I feel like once like a millisecond before everything was fine, and then suddenly 3 people were off the map. So that was a lethal bit of moment. But yeah, you can see it in the stats as well, right? You have a grand total of 18 KOs on the side of 2/3 here, finding so much value in those in that damage in that team comp as well, and executing it so well, taking the lead here.
Oh yeah, and the amount of KOs. I mean, this patch goes wild. 18 KOs versus 7. Oh goodness. And even just the redirects in general, Atsura having the most, completely redirecting the entire lobby as they rack up 115 redirects. But redirects aren't needed if they're able to completely capitalize off of the fact that you're going over and over, just melting everyone's HP for that matter. As we take it up 1-0. On to the next map, Taiko Temple though. Very fun map.
Yeah, it is Taiko Temple, and I mean we all do love Taiko Temple. We'll see what they're gonna opt into here, because it is something that Europe is very known for as well. Again, Taiko, we love a bit of Taiko. It's never gonna go anywhere, so definitely gonna be exciting to see what characters are gonna be prioritized here. I feel like you might want to consider looking at the Estelle deny if you're the side of East Eagles, just because Grim had such a solid showing on the character this time around. It's also going to be very Awakening dependent though, right? Because that Super Surge Primetime starter is very much in favor for the side of 2/3, because they can put Wood onto that Amy. She's going to be so great on the Amy with that extra damage on the secondary, with that extra range as well, and that pressure. And Primetime just being a very solid Awakening overall as well is definitely something that ended up helping them a bit there. But we'll see if that's gonna be the same in the Taiko Temple game that we're hopefully gonna go into rather soon.
Yeah, the initial Taiko Temple game that we saw earlier was just a complete dominant fashion, as they weren't able to really do much against the triple midfield comp that East Eagles were kind of just exposing them into. But 2/3 finding the groove in their first game, actually. I wonder if they're going to keep it into the second game. Now it's Taiko Temple. We don't even know the Awakenings yet or what they're going to pick, but I think that East Eagles are going to be now on their toes as they're looking to try to kind of end this game quickly. That first game that we saw earlier, it just felt like they felt too in the driver's seat. It felt like they had so much control, but it really wasn't. It felt like it completely sprouted out of control for them, and they had to keep on their toes now, which is unfortunate for them because it felt like it. I think they kind of judged after their first game. I was like, oh well, it's gonna be a quick cruise, but they're putting up a fight now.
Yeah, they most definitely are, and it's a fight that you do need to take seriously, right? To get this, because it's only the game one of a BO3, right? There's still, if you are the side of East Eagles, you still have 2 games that you can win, right, and just close it off right here. But if you are that team, it's of your best interest to not even get into the grand final reset. So going into this Taiko game, you need to have a solid idea of what you're going to be playing for, what you're going to be prioritizing. And I feel like you're probably actually, again, you're going up against Grim. You're probably looking to maybe run back a similar draft style that they did last time when they went in Taiko Temple, right? They banned out the Rune and they picked the Estelle for themselves. I could see them try to go for a similar strategy again on Taiko this time around.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that they've actually picked the red side this time, actually. East Eagle is trying to...
Oh, I think they went red side last time as well. I think they've always been red side so far.
Yeah, but I think that with that, if they ban Rune, I think they're going to prioritize Grim on the Estelle now. So they're going to go Estelle into whatever they can find the next match. But I'm actually worried about how they might approach this next time, because we saw how Wood has been playing on the Amy very aggressive, so they might actually take it away, which is interesting in that matter, because if they do take the Estelle away, well, not the Estelle, but if they do take the Amy away, I wonder if Grim is going to try to take a, like, maybe pick up a Vice, or maybe even take up Luna, if they can play it.
Grim, wait, I don't think Grim has much in his bucket, personally. Wood, I'm confident, can play a various degree of eject goalies as well, but we'll see what's gonna go. And I feel like this is the first time that we have an Awakening start, by the way, that's not as polarizing, that's not as KO heavy as all the games other games that we've had today, because we got Aerials and Orb Replicator.
Oh goodness. This is looking interesting. Aerials and Orb Replicator. Oh my god, Orbs, my beloved. As 2/3 pick up the Zen, Mako Kai on the roster. Very polarized, very contrasting compared to whatever they played last game with the. I think they're gonna switch to. I think they're trying to switch to a very slow start now that it's Taiko Temple. As the Eagles do pick up the Asher and the Zentara too. Well, not the Zentara, but they do pick up the Estelle Ivy and Asher actually. Both very good characters for all of them. Good characters for themselves, especially Ivy Asher. I think it's gonna be an Ivy Asher double forward as it. I mean, Asher and I think you've already had experience with playing against them. No, like it's a very strong combat to deal with because of just the amount of stuffing pressure you have.
Yeah, most definitely. It's also gonna be a bit rough, right? To really defend against it. Even if you are gonna be on a pick like Mako, it's gonna be difficult because yes, you have defensive power, defensive tools to use to defend against it. But even then, it's going to be difficult to really shut that down, right? With that pure force that's coming your way. So I'm going to be intrigued how well they're going to do with it. I also could see a world where maybe... no, actually, no. I was about to say maybe there's like a very small off chance that the Asher's going to go in net, but that's unlikely to happen. Because it's just so strong on the front end. And I don't think Itsuro is also a very big fan of playing a pure defensive goalie like that. So we will see right now, though, as we're now loading into this Taiko Temple game. And we will have a look at the Awakenings. We have aerials across the board, with one exception. SMG on the Orb Replicator. SMG representing the Orb Gang. Let's go.
Yeah, I love my orbs. As almost a great close, almost found SMG almost capitalizing off of the misposition by Screaming Elves, though. Fortunately, is able to get it through as one barrier does fall, and the energy already, but the damage actually coming already into play as Wood trying to basically save Screaming Elves as he being destroyed by SMG right now. But instead, SMG's the one being KO'd now. The Ivy and the Estelle looking to keep it up as the power play comes online. Grim looking really low, staggered basically as he's looking to try to find something and trying to bait abilities out for the process as somehow Dinfar is alive still, and it's instead Grim actually falling off the map too. Somehow the Ivy's alive, now she isn't anymore as the 2v2 is coming back online at Tsuru, adding to the pressure of amount of damage she's getting through as Screamhouse is looking to capitalize right now, currently trying to get Tsuru off the map as he's basically almost low again. This is a very heavy damage kill, despite the fact that we just said, oh, this doesn't look as polarizing.
It's Grim with a beautiful Giga Blast, by the way, holding on to the barrier there. Excellently shot as well. Like, again, gotta consider he's playing on a delay there. But for the first time, I feel like in ever watching OS tournament play, I think we've gotten more KOs than barrier takes. So I feel like they're just kind of throwing hands at this point, just trying to play off of player advantages and not really trying to set themselves up too much to maybe get an attack going. And I mean, it seems to work somewhat, but both goalies are holding it down. The angle is being found to go through Itsuro there, though, as SMG is trying to set himself up with the Asher. Tries to get past Wood, but Wood doing such a good job defensively there to not give any space.
Yeah, I think KO was weak this patch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, Wood still holding on though. Has a flip up. Finally, that barrier does go down. The fact that over time is impressive. He almost goes right through. His group has to set up the top side, having to use that flip. That's not that good. As Dinfar has a flip up. SMG trying to win some strike war, but now Dinfar has flipped. He can do something if it has a shot, and he does get it through, right through Group, who isn't able to capitalize off of it. And overtime, it's hard. The fact that you're playing on so much ping, as I mentioned a lot of the times, as we mentioned so many times throughout this entire stream, the fact that you have so much to work with as ping is costly basically just a buff. Well, not even a buff, but just in general, just a hurting factor in this game that you have to deal with. And core control is definitely going to be a lot harder now since you have to deal with overtime. And it's clearly shown as even though both teams are able to keep it into overtime, it matters if you can actually hold it in overtime.
Yeah, and that's going to be the difficulty, right? Because the game's going to go so fast, but a nice barrage there from Grim would actually just find that double barrier, as 2/3 are now looking to get the core out of their defense, but they can't quite. The nice piercing shot from Itsuro also will keep the core in that half there, as now 2 open goals are here. Itsuro has a flip, walks up, uses it as well, but an excellent, I think, strike shot from Wood will actually hold on to that goal. Power play now in favor of East Eagles. Will they be able to find the goal in the end, though, as Wood is holding on to the goal so well right now. The core trying to get into a stable position, trying to get somewhere where Din maybe can use flip, doesn't even have to, because SMG with the Asher presence will just force it right through Wood.
Yeah, just the benefiting factor of having Asher on your team is that you can just sit in your goalie's face and say, "Nah, you're not getting anywhere." And so it's just basically put in the corner and almost found the KO too. Dinfar almost found that KO too. Will be actually put so low, just the amount of W abilities. Will be he's off the map too. He had to use his flip in the process, and even though he got it out, it's not a good thing. As now 2/3 are in a power play, we'll find both berries in the process as well as Grim. Almost with flip up as well. If he can get a flip here, it'd be huge. But one berry taken on the opposite side. A little bit of stalling mechanism for that team as a great strike. He doesn't even need it. Grim find the great Taiko bounce. Will set up another point for them, and this set continues.
Yeah, those are these small things, right? Because that's a kind of angle that Itzuro would likely still be able to cover if it wasn't for movement delay by playing on different ping, right? But it was good enough, a nice mix-up from the side of Grim as well there. And Grim now has a flip as well, probably wants to use that to maybe find another double barrier secure, but right now, actually, it's Alf that needs to be careful, being put down into stagger, still holding onto this flip, uses it, SMG almost going off the map, but the Taiko Drum's not quite aligning perfectly, as now Grim with the flip does not find both barriers, finds just one, but a 1v1 between Alf and Itzuro gets completely solved by Itzuro, and barrier drops now as well. East Eagles, nice glitch pump from Dinfar to secure this first set.
Oh my goodness! I mean, the amount of presence that KO has been rooted into this game is so present as Estelle takes another MVP. And here we go. This is just an insane draft. You have so much to choose from. Missile prop, another one. The fact that you already have arrows on the board means that you're allowed to cover so much more space. But instead, the heavy impact will be actually taken here, allowing for a lot more cooldowns, a lot more damage to be coming out. In particular, as Estelle's pretty good at applying that damage just constantly, as you don't really need to walk across the midfield line for that. As Mako picking up another dash awakening here. This is dangerous.
Is going to be dangerous because now both Grim and Alfs are going to be so much faster. Alfs also has a baseline picking up Blast Cannon. Not sure how much he can use it because it's going to be denied quite frequently. As you can see already, damage again being pumped out so consistently. And these Eagles are doing it so well as well. So we'll see how well that's going to go. But both barriers actually have been found. And the core bounces, not able to be read by Itzuro there as it goes into the goal. Wood actually opening us up this set with the first goal.
Yeah, I think that might have been a. I think someone struck it into. I think one of Etsuru's teammates struck it right into the middle cycle drum and it bounced that way, allowing Wood, who did I think use the primer to at least hit it away, meant that that goal was safe. And somehow that second goal wasn't taken as well. Wood being thankful that it didn't come through as Scream House was looking capitalized. Both barriers falling for the East Eagles as they're currently trying to work their way towards getting another set here. Dinfar having the Tentry turret, having so much pressure as there's being just put on over and over as Grim has capitalized now, has the speed, has the energy to do so as Wood is being very cautious about what they're doing so far, has to off up to the top side now, has to flip up as well, just in case SMG just has to put any pressure. But Dinfar looking low, and so is Atsuro too, trying to push up. Far somehow gets the kill too. Dinfar with a great kill onto them means that Grim will be able to set up, unfortunately, because of the way that point played out. It was just really quick and very fast, and even though Screamhouse is off the map, Grim's able to capitalize, being a 2-point lead for 2/3 as they're looking to take another set.
And that first set they do need to find rather soon as well, because right now they got a little bit, they have a flip on Wood, they don't have a lot of evades on Grim here, so he has to be careful to not be taken off the map, but the same actually applies to Dinfar. No evades, no HP here as well. The redirect from SMG actually goes a bit wrong there, as the core just bounces directly back into the defense of Itzuro, but they are able to defend it as of right now. Wood has a flip if they need to use it for it, but right now, power play in favor of 2/3, and it's looking really good for them to take this set.
Yeah, double explosion by Grim. What a great Gigablast to send Atsura off the map. And 3v1, what can you do as SMG? Somehow, it's still being alive, and Zinfar comes back online now. Sentry Turret doing so much work. First flip goes wide as Wood has to use it for the defense. The Screamhouse does have a flip ready. Gets deflected by the glitch pop. Oh my goodness. Somehow it's held on. As it's basically a miracle moment right now. Let's see if they can capitalize.
They do try, but they can't really get an attacking position here. Really well defended from the side of Wood here. As the core is now going back into the half of Itzuro. It gets defended successfully. Grim is able to retrieve the core though. One strike away from getting a flip here as well, as the flip comes out from SMG. Defended by the barrage from Grim. I'm sorry.
He's dying. Oh my goodness. Scream also used the flip as well. Unfortunate high by him. And now it's in complete chaos as Scream, Owls, and Grim are trying to keep it alive. Trying to put this point not to good waste, but SMG and Dinfar put up so much pressure. And even has the flip up as well, the sentry turn. Doing so much, and it's not even the sentry turn. It's the glitch pop. I said it wrong. Glitch pop sends it right past. And somehow that point was saved by the East Eagles.
They're holding on to the point, and now they have 2 flips to their name as well that they can use to completely turn the set around. First barrier does drop as well. It's Zero staying up for as long as she can as flip comes out from Dinfar. Amy turret there as well to assist in the forge, but well defended from the side of 2/3 for now.
And Dinfar's just playing this perfectly. He just deflected so much, and there we go, another play right now. They're bringing this back up now, and East Eagles have a chance to take this another 2-set lead, but only time can tell right now, as Atsuro still has the flip online. As Screamhouse has basically nothing yet. They still have to pass the strike, which means that they will potentially find that first barrier. Unfortunately, doesn't get it though, as Atsuro pushes up to the midfield line, almost gets that barrier too, but Dinfar basically has so much control over this game. He's basically been doing everything right now. That first, I mean, he's had 2 deflections set as well with that first deflection with the cyber, well, not the cyber swipe, but the glitch pop when they were about to basically lose that point. And then again, just that last point earlier with just the strike redirect off of the flip too. It's just doing so much work, and if East Eagles can keep this up, can keep the momentum going, as it doesn't look like 2/3 are really doing that well, but they might be doing well if they find the kill on SMG as well. But 2 flips online too. Atsura having to burn the first one doesn't find any value, but it puts a lot of people really low. Grim having to stay with her time, but the second flip is deflected as well. Screamo still living. It's a 2v3 power play, now back to 3v3. But it feels like 2/3 basically won that interaction, as now they have to deal with nothing. But instead, it's Dinfar pushing up so far. He's been doing so much work, almost finds the kill on Scream as well. He's still really low, but they need to score here. They need to score now. If they can't score now, they won't have another chance to score later.
Yeah, and they do find more KOs, more damage as well as Grim again down to a very dangerous amount of HP. Power play in favor of East Eagles now, but they can't seem to get past Wood here. Wood holding on to this defense so well, making use of this Mako SMG, trying to interrupt Wood there as well, to not let her defend the core, but not quite able to get the angle just right, as Screamhouse with a nice dash will actually secure the top barrier here. Both open goals now, as the side of East Eagles need to start finishing this right now. Grim walking up with the Kai barrage, not quite able to get it past the Tsuro though, as the core is going red, and we're in overtime. We're in fast core time, and that's gonna be very difficult if you're gonna be playing on delays as the emitter comes out. But the angle from SMG actually will put it right past Wood. The Asher showing her prowess there, as this 2-0 set lead is going in favor of East Eagles, but the game that was just being played was a lot more even than this result.
The backer to live is evil right there, as that play was just complete shock now. I mean, MVP has so much to choose from. I might even take the twin drive away from the Mako. There we go. Twin drive Aimi, even with Super Surge on the board, makes it so much harder for anyone to really deal with it. The fact that they have so much pressure with the Super Surge, as well as just being able to control half the map for fun, it's just so strong. As even the Estelle and the Asher, they're just picking up more damaging awakenings. Asher taking them on you too, just makes it so much harder for you to get past that path splitter.
Yeah, and it's together with the timeless as well, right? That path splitter is gonna be so massive and so difficult to defend against. You can see it come here, out here,
Oh
right
my
here as
god.
well. It's just a solid wall, and you can't do much against that. But other than that, I feel like the Chrono Boost finding its way onto Kai is gonna be so great for Grim as well, enabling that movement speed and maybe setting up for a solid attack for the side of 2/3 as well, as they do find almost the first goal. It got defended just narrowly by Itsuro, but in the end, it finds its way into the goal anyways.
Oh my god, I mean, that save goes so hard right there, as they're doing her best to keep it alive, but in turn it does fall. But we've seen the story one too many times, 2/3 taking a very large lead, but then suddenly the core does end up finding its way back into Wood's hands to successfully keeping away for the time being. As one barrier, not one but 2 barriers actually fall for it. Unfortunate misplay by East Eagles, but so far it's looking so good. They actually got the second barrier off as well, and Grim looking really low. They can look for a capitalization here, but he's staying alive for the time being now. It's not that good, as 30 seconds are left in this point right now before it hits overtime. But it's up to Dinfar to keep it alive. I think it was just a regular strike that hit it in, and Grim also looking really low too. Fortunately, he wasn't killed, and that's a good thing, as he basically keeps his energy up, and he could use it potentially. But both teams have been really explosive. Like one team could just easily turn this into their favor, and the next is just, oh, my bad, I kind of just exploded on, and you just got screwed because of it.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, they know that this is very much a momentum-based game, right? If you can get the corner enemy side and you just hold it there, apply enough pressure, it's eventually gonna go in, right? Or if you do as much damage as they're doing right now, they're eventually gonna put it in as well, as a power play comes through for the side of 2/3 here. Dinfar is getting rather low, but can regenerate HP up. Scream Owl's down to low HP as well, but the damage can't be found on top of him. But the strike can be found from him, actually, to catch the core bounce off the drum and send it right past Dinfar there. 2-1 in this set, in favor of 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3. They need to pay attention for one more point, as he could potentially take it away. But so far, looking so good right now. As Grimm's looking really low too. He still has his energy, which is amazing to me. He's actually healing his soul, which means that he's able to keep that flip up. And so far, he can use it for anything right now. One barrier down for Atsuro, as they're looking to keep it alive. One having to burn her flip as well, as Screamas and Grim ever march closer to that barrier. SMG and Dimp are trying to forcefully fight their way through it, but somehow that barrier still stands. Wood, miraculous saves by Wood and Grim, but I might have just cast a curse right there. Dinfar fighting everything, and Grim also with the flip too, almost hits the ankle as well, as Dinfar's looking really low. As Grim are looking to put it through, letting even staggered as well, but Dinfar, once staggered, pushes it right through Wood, and it's match point currently for East Eagles.
Match point in their favor, and they do have a flip on Atsuro soon again. Meanwhile, on the other side of 2/3, they're all really low on evades there, so maybe there's a KO on the horizon. Maybe there's an aggressive Atsuro play to use that flip and translate that into, or convert that into some barriers. But no, it's actually Grim that will find a KO there with the Giga Blast. Atsuro jumps up and gets a barrier here. Captain Dinfar actually also running up, almost taking Grim off the map, but not quite, as Atsuro uses the flip, but doesn't hit anything with it. HP bar's low on the side of 2/3, but as it stands right now, actually, the side of East Eagles are running up, flip coming up from Dinfar. HP bar is incredibly low across the board, and the goal is being found. East Eagles will even up this series as they take Taiko Temple and force a Game 3.
Oh, this game 3 is gonna be hype. Not because it's OD Village, but because of what we just saw right there. I mean, both teams exploding onto the scene. And East Eagles showing that they're not out just yet. As we look at the KOs on the board, I'm not even interested about who won. I'm just about the KOs. I mean, 8 KOs versus 4. I think that in general, it's just, I mean, I actually like talked about this a lot during EUSL, with a lot of the teams that found KOs and just couldn't find anything off it. Flame Skins in particular, actually, I kind of mark them as the #1 KO team for the most part, but if they can't find the KOs, it just all goes to waste, it feels like, and that's what basically happened this game. So many KOs were found onto the other team, and they just weren't able to capitalize in time. Well, the other team found half the KOs, but about 2 times the amount of efficiency they've accomplished with it. And if they can keep doing that, it's a really good thing. As we head on to game 3, actually, Oni Village, we said once earlier that those awakenings weren't as good, but I want to see how the KO on this map. Smile.
Hey, you never know. There might be a funny perfect form Zentaro angle, alright? It's always possible. Now is it probable? Probably not. But we'll see what they're gonna be going for on the Only Village. I am very much expecting, though, high priorities around Estelle and Erasmus again for the side of 2/3, because those are the characters they've been having success with, right? And obviously on Only Village, that's also just a really strong goalie pick. Not goalie pick, forward pairing. In terms of goalie picks, I'm going to be curious where it's going to go, though, because I feel like the Mako is probably finding its way onto Wood again. I'm not sure what the Tsuro is going to opt for, because Tsuro obviously really good on a wide variety of goalies, but not really the biggest fan of having to lock in something like an Atlas. Now, is she going to lock in the Atlas, or is she just going to stick to her Luna? She's been playing Luna on Only Village as well, actually, and just been having some great results with it, so I'm curious to see where this one is going to go.
Definitely can agree. I feel like the play here for, I mean, if you really want to take it away, in general, like if you want to probably try to scale this game out of control, you go red side. I feel like. Oh, it's another spark. Yeah, there we go. Spark of agility being put in, kind of just mulling over production right now. Spark of agility being one of the awakenings, but I think in general, you just go red side. Because if you go red side, it has the potential to scale out of control. Because you said earlier how you wanted to prioritize a Cell and or Rasmus here. If you go red side, you're basically guaranteed one of the options. If I think they're gonna look to like, they've been banning out Grimm's rune the entire game, and if they keep doing that, then obviously he's not gonna get rune. If they go a stealth, then let them go a stealth. But if you can grab like Kai, because Grim can't play Kai. If you grab Kai Rasmus, I think this game can be over.
Grim
Genuinely.
can play Kai. It's just low on the priority list.
Oh my god, the rune came out. What the heck?
Alright, yeah, recap. We're Spark of Agility and Prime Time. So speed and cooldowns is the name of the game. You do have a Juno ban coming out of 2/3 and an Estelle ban coming out of Eagles 2/3. First pick the rune because it is still open, right? And we're playing with Grim here. You have a Prime Time as well, by the way. Prime Time rune on Only Village is going to have so much value if you're a player like Grim. The question is how well can he pilot the rune with that delay? Eagles answered that directly with the Centauro and Kai pick. The pick stats didn't seem to work as well for the Atlap game, but keep in mind that was because it was KO heavy. Now you're in a pure control game. Now Centauro and Kai is going to hold a lot more value.
Yeah, and as Sloth mentioned earlier, that Atsuro Luna is back on the cards yet again. Atlas Rasmus coming out actually. You mentioned, I think, in Winners Finals how basically Wood wanted to for the Atlas for just in general just to have a better time because the Baka wasn't working out for her. And it seems again the Atlas pick coming out onto the Oni village. I mean Atlas is just, I mean any melee character is so strong on this map compared to whatever Luna has in the whole, but I don't know. I feel like Adsuro's been playing this Luna so efficiently that it doesn't even matter about the barriers because if you're able to just take every other barrier, like opponent barrier in that instance, and not have to worry about your own and still score, then it's a good thing.
Yeah, most definitely. And we've seen Luna play this character we've seen Atsuro play Luna on Oni Village
Luna play
before.
Luna.
So we know she has value on that pick. We'll see how well it's going to be executed though, as we are looking at two Spark of Agilities on both Dinfar and SMG, a Prime Time on Atsuro, answered by two Prime Times on Grim and Wood, and Spark of Agility on Scream Elf. So again, cooldowns and speed is the name of the game. We're on Only Village, so first barrier drops on the side of East Eagles, but who cares about the first barrier if you have the second one still up?
Rightfully so, as Grim is looking to do a lot of work with the rune. That rune pillar basically take you out one angle, and that's the power of rune, just having one angle cleared away, and a lot of stuff cleared away in general, as SMG kind of just has to lose core control for that instance just because Grim is there, and thankfully they're worried about the rune though. A good evade out by both SMG and Dinfar means that they'll capitalize off the second barrier as well as SMG tries to look for something. Even Screamow's alive, almost KOs SMG with the backwards hook. But instead it's just Grim doing all the work on the other side, completely mixing up Dinfar at 0, taking that first point, and maybe it wasn't the right choice to ban the Estelle and let the rune go.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a difficult task to defend against the rune if you're a non-defensive goalie, right? Because there's just not really a lot of hits that you have to work with. Again, Atsuro can definitely make it work, but it's going to be an uphill battle, and creations are going to be pretty non-contested, by the way, on the side of 2/3 as well, because if you're looking at the team comp that East Eagles are piloting, none of them really want any creation awakenings, which means Rune and Atlas are kind of just fair game to go whatever they need.
Oh yeah, and the pillar redirect into the flip almost catches Atsuro off guard. Thankfully she does have flip though, and Wood losing the second barrier too, that's not a good thing, as SMG and Dinfar are looking to capitalize, but SMG is fighting a very crucial battle right now. Dinfar can't do anything, he's too low for that matter, as he's basically able to just run away and can't really do much, as Grim's also looking really low too. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but somehow the core goes past Wood? I mean, I thought they struck it in time. What?
Yeah, probably a misread of the bounce or not an adjustment properly to the ping, but hey, the goal happens. It is what it is. It's even in sets now. It's not even in energy though, as Wood has a flip, and actually SMG has a flip soon as well. Has to use the evade there though to not get banished by Rune.
And thankfully that rune is there to just have the evade tech, just in case you don't want to be able to play for too long, and it's working so far. Somehow Atsuro and Dinfar keep it alive now, as it almost comes through now. Wood with the flip, doesn't get it away in time, as Corbin still belongs to East Eagles, as they look to capitalize yet again, but it's only a matter of time, because it's almost nearing overtime, 30 seconds still, but still, you have a flip coming up for Scream Owls right now. He can just get ready to lose face and just shove it right through as the play tries to go wide now. There we go, the double flip. Not even a double flip, but the death touch into the flip definitely does help it indeed, as Scream Owls secures another point for 2/3, and they're looking to bring it back. They're looking for our grand finals reset right here.
Yeah, that flip in front of an open goal against the Luna is almost always a guaranteed hit, unless you really mess up the angles. As we're now going into this fourth point of the set, the pillar actually going a little bit wrong there, as it takes its own barrier, but the second barrier dropping on the side of East Eagles again. The Giga Blast not quite able to find a KO there, as Luna tries to go up and secure, maybe use the flip as well, but gets met by the Expanse from Atlas. Power play now in favor of 2/3. Can they translate this into a set window? As of right now, Dinfar and SMG holding on quite well defensively. Atsuro back on the field now as well, trying to make use of the Luna Dash, and will find the second barrier. Both flips available for the forwards for the side of East Eagles here. Is Dinfar going to use it? Is SMG going to use it? No, they're trying to get the core up, but Screamhouse interrupts it perfectly. Giga Blast denies a little bit of action there, and the KO being found. Pendulum Swing will translate into KO there, as again, power play for the side of 2/3 again. SMG, no flip, no evades, will try to do everything in his power to delay this as much as possible. The barrage coming out from Dinfar as well. Flip not coming out from Dinfar though, as Scream Elves finds the score right past him. First set win for the side of 2/3, and one step closer to getting a reset.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, the flip. Oh my god. And even this is just disgusting. Rapid fire coming online. Oh, the Trio doesn't even have prime time. Oh my goodness. But yes, Spark though. It's okay. It's all saved. But rapid fire prime time Luna is gonna be a big issue though. It's gonna be definitely a hard thing to deal with.
Intrigued on how they approach this draft, because I would have expected Wood to pick up the missile prop here and leave Perfect Form open to be a deny taken by Grim there, but they do opt to wait it out a bit. Missile prop was being taken up by Dinfar there, meaning Perfect Form finds its way onto Wood, and Grim obviously with a Castellas also still very happy, right? Again, getting these awakenings to stay on the field for longer is gonna be so high value. On the other hand, dash extension for SMG is going to be really great. The cooldowns for Atsuro is going to be so good to be more of a presence in Strike Wars as well, right? Having rockets over and over again to be playing with. But again, as it stands right now, the side of 2/3 are looking a little bit more core controlled, as they were able to get both the barriers out pretty swiftly.
Yeah, but so far they had to hang on for the life for the time being. Screamo is playing the midfield line, try to stay alive for the time being, as Grim is looking to capitalize off of a rune pillar, though. First barrier does go awry for East Eagles right now, as they're looking to capitalize off of their initial mispit, the two barriers in the process, but Wood is still holding it down. They haven't been able to find anything for that matter, since Stero still has that flip online, has another potential saving grace for them, as they're looking to capitalize yet again, but this point is going really slowly now, but overtime will make that a lot faster. A Scream Out is looking to capitalize off of anything, has to go for the orb though, but almost a great strike though, saved by Atsuro, and that barrier does fall. That's a good thing for them, as Eagles are trying to kind of just take it away. A great save by Atsuro too, keeps it alive, and SMG almost missing the Borg flick too, unfortunately doesn't get it through, as Wood still has a lot of cooldowns to get through. Even has flip online too, so SMG really can't do much. If he gets too close, it might be over. But now Dinfar looking to try to capitalize. If anything, get us the SMG outright rush that stuns Wood and gets that first point. What a great play by East Eagles.
Excellent play from both sides of the field there, and I also do want to point out really quick, 2/3, Grim is doing such a good job using his pillars to just kind of cover those misstrikes that you just get when you're playing on a delay, right? A lot of these cores just went past either him or Wood, and the pillar was just right there to answer it almost immediately. So well executed from them. In the end, it wasn't enough though, as it sort of held it down so perfectly on this Luna pick, and SMG in the end found the dash to confirm it as well, as we're now back into one barrier on each side.
Yeah, and Dinfar finding the second barrier despite SMG being banished can set them up for another point here, as they're looking to capitalize off of anything, almost gets it through. as Scream Mouse has to hold the flip, and it's deflected by the Atsuro missile. Oh my god! And now it's basically 2-up for the East Eagles. They're looking to bring it back. They're not out just yet.
Yeah, they do need to get the momentum, and again, a reminder that there is a spark in this team as well from both sides actually. So winning these early awakening sets are just have so much more value in case there are sparks coming through. And again, the nice setup from SMG there will secure them this third goal of the set and even it out in sets. It's Tsuro being the MVP for the second set and having free choice, and we're looking at a specialized training maybe. Also, wouldn't be surprised if Tsuro ends up going for the twin drive here to deny Atlas and allow herself to be a lot more active up front, and that's exactly what she will do.
Yeah, this Atlas draft goes kind of hard. I mean, Monumentalist, time as creator, and everything on the kitchen sink right now. I actually asked for the time as creator for the time being. Let's Rune have the Monumentalist as well. Maybe if the 1-2 punch for that matter, but we can't discount SMG having a heavy impact. The amount of damage he's been getting so far has been pretty big. If he's able to rack up more cooldowns plus damage, it could be very dangerous for the side of 2/3.
Yeah, not only dangerous, because it's gonna be so much more difficult as well to deal with core control, because Dinfar being that speed team and now with the Chrono Boost is gonna be ever present as well, same as Tsuro with Twin Drive being ever present. On the other hand though, Screamhouse is able to pick up some size, which is very much good for them. But it doesn't look like it's enough as of right now. It's again open goal now on the side of 2/3. SMG in front of the net, not able to translate it into a goal just yet though, as they're trying to get an attack going. HP bars going low, KO being found from Grim actually, as there's now a power play in favor of 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3 looking for everything. Atsuro actually staying there a little bit longer, trying to capitalize, but doesn't get to her just yet. As Denfar has to fight through. A great pendulum swinger swing house opens the goal net as they're looking to capitalize right now. And Zinfar having the flip up as well. Everyone having a flip actually, not even everyone, but Atsuro and Dinfar having a flip actually makes it a lot easier for them to score and potentially get this point going. As Scream and Screamhouse are trying to combat the fact that they have a flip up for grabs. Now SMG being hooked off, almost getting the kill too, but Screamhouse is the one who puts it in. 1 point again for 2/3.
They are holding on to this game and they're trying to force this reset. Looking at the levels overall though, I do feel like SMG is having a bit of a rough time getting into the game, right? He's a bit lower on levels right now, and it's probably got to do with the fact that Zentaro is just not necessarily going to be as consistent as you need him to be when you are working with a little bit of a delay here as well. And as it stands right now, I feel like it's been mainly Din and Tsuro who've been having a really good showing. Mainly Tsuro just again making use of that Luna with that eject button, being so present again. Basically like every single goal that was found from the side of East Eagles has been Tsuro be involved in some way. And we'll see if that's going to keep up or if maybe there's going to be an approach change as well from them.
And he and Screamhouse actually pick up the orb from Absuro's line, will mean that they'll be having 2 flips online, but doesn't matter if it's a 2v throw play going on for Dinfar and SMG who have a chance to capitalize. Now, first flip being burned by Screamhouse, has to use it on the defense, and now Wood still has flip though. It's a good sign for them as Grim comes back online, but that flip being used a little bit too late means that that barrier will fall, and now East Eagles have a chance to score here, but at what cost? They're pretty low, and if they can't do anything about it, they might be taken off the map, but so far they're holding on so well. As 2/3 are keeping the core alive, and SMG looking really low himself. Might even find the KO too, if Look can find anything. But so far, SMG's been able to stay on top, and the boys emo coming out showing prowess as SMG finds another goal and stuns Wood in the process too.
SMG staying alive, the core being delivered to him, and him using that primary excellently to get it through there. Nice goal being found there, as it's getting a bit more difficult, I think, for the side of 2/3 to really play this out, because you can really see these awakenings that have started to scale a little bit and just added more pressure, right? Added more difficulty to play this out. They do still have winning avenues. The KO actually not going through there on Dinfar. Din probably trying to get this flip involved one way or another now. I could see maybe Luna flipping it all up front and Din receiving it, but the barrier does go down actually, and Luna holding on to this flip a little bit too long, as the pendulum swing will secure the second goal in favor of 2/3 in the set.
Yeah, that flip not being used isn't that great, and I think Asura just was trying to make sure he didn't use the flip at all. Almost finds the kill, it's almost tries to get a kill, but unfortunately doesn't win that interaction as one barrier does fall. But thankfully another barrier does fall now. Same side barriers on both sides currently. As Denfar and Zero have two flips, have a flip each to work with. As they're trying to look for the bottom side angle, but so far looking so good for Wood as they're holding on for the time being and Sarah having to use a flip of their own, but everyone looking really low too. 2/3 not position you want to be in as one flip goes awry. SMG having to use a flip for his life, but Screamow's having flip too, but he has the recovery drone, doesn't even need it. He can just hold himself forever he wants to. Even the Atlas Rest coming out means that he's alive. He's still able to be alive as Zinfar trying to keep something going, trying to keep it away. But it's not looking so good right now as Screamhouse has complete control. It goes up to SMG now. He has everything in his power. The flip gets burnt. But instead the flip back and then the strike into. It's Dinfar who ties it up and brings us to 0.5.
0.5 in his third set, and the energy bar is looking low across the field. The most energy is on Grim, actually, with having two full ones, but has to use one to evade there as well, as a barrier is dropped on the side of 2/3. East Eagles trying to close off the set, but a lot of damage being found, and it's sort of deceptive, because if you're looking at Atlas, Ruined, Rasmus, you're not really thinking about a lot of damage, but they're finding it anyways, pretty consistently as well, as a barrier now drops on the side of East Eagles as well. 1-1, Alf's trying to set himself up, but gets interrupted by the rocket. Grim trying to find a pillar there, but not quite able to do so, as he does find one to actually find a KO there. Power play in favor of 2/3 right now.
Yeah, strike shot saving grace, and Dinfar comes back in 5 seconds. But so far, SMG and Natsuro holding really well, taking the attack for each other as Wood has to push up for the time being, and Natsuro with flip. This could be a saving grace moment because they've been using it so efficiently and so aggressively too. They could use it on the offense or the defense for that matter. But currently, Wood also has flip, means that SMG has to pick up his flip with his own in order to counter it. And it's up to SMG whether or not he can actually use this flip or not, because he's not really getting to position just yet. Almost just a kill on Screamos as well, as it now officially hits overtime in this crucial 0.5. As SMG burns his flip, that's not what you want to see. As both goalies still are holding onto their flip, they're having such good defense, but the forwards have been able to crack so far. Finally, the barrier first drops as Wood has their flip still online, and the core is going way too fast. What can you do in this moment? Flip can only save so long, and if Atsura gets one good dash, it could be over. Wood finally using their flip as well. Atsura going for the dash, doesn't find any value, doesn't connect on anything. And now Screamhouse has flip too, has to use it for the barrier, does get it, but the unfortunate timing of it, Wood wasn't able to catch it. And that's another set for East Eagles. They're one set away from having this grand finals belong to them.
Yeah, and you can just kind of see it. The downfall on the side of 2/3 so far has been like these micro mispositionings from Wood, where the core just sneaks right through. That usually you can correct when you're playing on your normal comfortable ping, but not quite able to do so now. And we're going into this draft, and we have a Deadeye being picked up for Itsuro here, being more lethal, more speed again for Dinfar. So very much difficult now for the side of 2/3 to really play into this, but they do at least get some size for the Rasmus to secure himself a little bit of an easier time using these abilities, and among Titans as well coming through for Grim, giving him that more mobility and, more crucially, even more size towards the Rasmus.
I don't even want to do the math right now, but I'm sure that Rasmus is plus 50% as he finds the first kill too. That size definitely helping in factor of catching I think SMG in the entirety of the pendulum swing, as then Far's looking to capitalize, trying to keep the momentum out of control. SMG does come back online now. Wood having good defense, keeping it away as Grim finds the first barrier on the other side for Atsuro. And Screamos is doing so much work right now, and even Grim too finding the second barrier off of the pillar right there, as SMG and Dinfar are looking to try to bring this game back to a close. But so far, it seems like 2/3 have found their groove yet again. They have two barriers down, none to work, and only one to work with, which is pretty good considering the fact that Wood is actually piloting this goalie actually pretty well. But as I say that second barrier does fall. It's sort of a great primary, and even the flip too as well, as Wood is basically standing on thin ice right now. I think Atsura has a little bit of a better chance compared to Wood in terms of deflecting this, as Atsura has to burn the flip to SMG, trying to do something in that matter, and catches Wood off guard. The hour rush sending it to the bottom side. And that's another point for East Eagles.
Really strong dash predict from SMG. They're reading that Wood's going to clear it down, and Zcore gets caught up almost immediately there. As now East Eagles are looking at taking this game and going home early, not having this grand final reset happen as they find another barrier. Is the second one going to be following suit? No. Secondary from Atlas will shut that down completely. As now Dinfar has a flip, tries to run up, but it's actually going to get taken out by the rune here. The rune banish with Monumentalist obviously going to have quite a bit of force behind it, as now Tsuro is being tasked to defend this 2v1. This SMG has moved back to help as well, but both the barriers end up dropping in the end. Alf's in a 1v1 up front, has flip, doesn't even need to use it with a clean strike secondary. Will just put it right past Tsuro there.
Yeah, the size playing a big factor. If he didn't have size, he doesn't catch those. As Screamhouse still has flip online, and no one else does. Energy going completely on the side. And so does the player advantage too. SMG falling, but it's Sinfar who does it again. Another deflection. That's another flip down, but Wood still has one to work with him. Grim also coming up on flip recently at Tsuro, stealing the energy of Overwave for the time being as they have to deflect against it. So far, so good as the triple banish comes out. And what can you do? Screamhouse just walking it in, walking his little dog into the corner as another goal is found. 4-3 for 2/3 right now. If they can get this point, they'll send it to a set 5.
And a set 5 would be so dangerous because there's still quite a few awakenings that are dangerous, and mainly the sparks that are still in there. Alps already has 2 sparks as it stands right now. Getting a third might have even put him across the border there. I think Might of the Colossus also hasn't come out yet. So even more size for Erasmus to work with. But as it stands right now, it's 2/3 are very much looking to make this happen, as the side of Eastern Eagles will find a barrier, but no! Tsuro gets found at the edge of the map, gets taken out, and we're going to a set 5.
Oh no! Oh no, and gripping MVP. Rasmus is third in the carousel. That is not good. Oh no. Grim might even take up extra special here, and Tsuro basically. Oh no. This is not good. This is not good at all.
Yeah.
He has so much to work with. He has third spark. He gets Resil. Oh, he gets Resil. Wait a minute. I feel like you should have taken strength there. Actually, wait, no. You can take Resil. No, yeah, I think it's fine to take Resil here. Doesn't matter which one you take, but I think Strike would have been a little bit better.
I think when it comes down to it, right, Alps already has size. He's just trying to stay on the map and trying to make use of the size as much as he can. So the Resil does make a bit of sense. Other than that, though, I mean, a second spark is being found for SMG, so that's going to be a little bit more damage. The aerial's going to make it even faster for Din, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit difficult now for the side of East Eagles to really find their groove here. But they have to if they don't want to go into another BO3, as now both sides have dropped one barrier. Second one dropped on the side of 2/3 here as well, as they're trying to set up to get the score, but can't quite get past this huge Rasmus in the midfield.
Rasmus doing so much work, and oh my god, what did the... Wow, okay, that Giga Blast from Dinfar completely throwing Wood off guard and couldn't catch it in time. Despite the draft that just happened, it seems that 2/3 are a little bit kind of just stuck in the past right now. They aren't really that focused just yet, and despite having such a great draft, they're not in the game yet. But East Eagles are currently in the game, as even though one barrier does fall, they're completely keeping up in the objective right now. The objective is to take that one barrier right now, and they're doing such a good job of it so far, but Wood holding on just so quite dearly, has to work their way around it. That's a great Giga Blast, actually secures it. Oh my god, this guy is popping off right now. And Screamhouse also burns the flip too. That's not what you want to see, as Tsuro also gets banished too, but thankfully the core doesn't go right just yet. Dinfar also looking really well, has to pick up the orb too, as he's basically almost on stagger point, does get staggered fortunately, as is a good thing for 2/3, but they do find the kill too. Now 2v3 power play for 2/3 right now, as they have to look for it. Even Tsuro burns the flip too. This is not looking that great for East Eagles if they want to keep it alive. That second barrier will fall, and almost the goal too. Tsuro getting banished inside the goal box sets up Screamhouse for the pendulum swing, and that's another point for 2/3.
And that banish had so much value there, just completely disabling Tsuro to interrupt before it got too deep in there. And now the energy advantage in favor of 2/3. These Eagles still have avenues, they still find barriers, and they're not done yet as they get another double barrier. But the difficulty is getting it into the net, as Wood has been locking it down so well. The double banish as well coming out. Dinfar's miraculously not being taken off here. And the pillars just coming out from Grim. It's just so difficult. There's just so many creation abilities in that net on the side of 2/3, but they do win Strike Force again. But there's just another flip coming their way, as now SMG is getting low, needs to be careful to not be taken out, as Screamhouse is trying to get the skull in. Tsuro with the dash up, but can't get the Strike War against Wood, as now the power play in favor of 2/3 is on the field here.
Yeah, that side's working its magic right there. But flip two gets deflected again, and the
No!
goal is going in. Oh my god! What a great miss off from Mr. Just sent it right through and would not be able to capitalize in time. That's match point. And despite everything, somehow he deflected 2 flips. And 1 flip was burnt out in the process, but didn't even find value. First barrier now going over. 2 Eagles are looking to close it out right here. They have so much momentum. They basically just had to run up their lives, but so far they're so good as SMG does fall off the map. East Eagles, but they are basically not out of it just yet. They're not out of the woods as one barrier does fall. Now same barrier on both sides. Now Grim had to do something, but that second barrier does
Oh,
fall. Also finds the kill on Grim. It's a 2v3 power play. And what
no!
can you do? SMG putting it right in, and they just win. At Suru SMG and Dinfar representing EU in the show match.
Yeah, towards the end, they locked in. They started playing so well. It got so close, so consistently, so often. But in the end, it was enough to secure themselves a win in this series. We're not going to a Grand Finals reset because it is done right here. The East Eagles take it, and they will go up against the American team next week in the show match. Someone just started, so I'm just gonna move on. So there you go.
Oh my goodness, that was hard. That was hard to watch. It feels like.
I can get the
Oh, the
stats up
draft
again.
was so good too. No,
Yeah, I mean
that
you can
draft was.
see it as well though in the stats. By the way, like this was all over the place. Shots coming out from everywhere. I feel like in the end it kind of came down to how well Atsuro was able to defend the goal while also being a threat up front, right? Because you can see it right here. The only goals that were being found from the side of 2/3 ended up being Scream Elves, which likely always was a pendulum swing or just something to stun Atsuro so she can't defend properly. But she just did so well to never really play into that rune, into these pillars. Obviously, Atlas doesn't really have a lot of threat up front either. And looking at the goals on the other side, it's 3 goals of her own was such a menace up front as well, equaling SMG in amounts of shots actually. So I feel like that's what it came down to. It's just piloting this Luna so well and being a threat up front while holding it down in the back.
Definitely so. I mean, 228 redirects completely gapped the entire lobby in terms of redirects, as well as a lot of saves too. I mean, that server was just holding it down like a beast and completely destroyed Screamouts in terms of just having just the correct play over and over. And fortunately, they were able to etch that out in what almost looked to be a lost cause because that draft was horrible. I'm still on it, but that draft looked crazy bad.
Hmm.
Like it did not feel right. Like they had so like 2/3 had so much momentum going into it. That was a game they could have won genuinely.
Yeah, most
Like
definitely.
the draft, yeah, the draft went so bad, but in the end, they did clutch up. Congratulations to Atsuro, Dinfar, and SMG as they come through. And watch out, NA. We have three players coming in. I wonder what they're going to be bringing.
Yeah, that's definitely. Also, a really quick notice. Just another the point to state that Atsuro just played out of her mind this time around. She's just got 3 saves less than SMG has redirects. So it's really, really ever present, doing everything that needed to be done. But yeah, you did mention it. This is going to be the team that's going to be facing the whichever team is going to represent the NA side next Sunday at the For the Crown LAN, or rather, we're going to play from obviously here. The NA team is going to play from the LAN. So do stay in tune for that. And overall as well, if you are from Europe, obviously, we still got tournaments for you. And for that, we got actually a bub tomorrow. So if you looked at today's tournament and said, hey, I don't really feel like playing on ping, you can actually play tomorrow on normal European servers. So do sign up for Bulk Up Battlegrounds 21. You do not want to miss yet another iteration of that, and it's going to be great fun. Don't forget about it. I'll post a link in just a second once I have grabbed it.
Yeah, one thing, just a quick notice. Be on the lookout. These coming weeks, we have another thing planned for you guys. Be on the lookout. Put it on your calendars. I think you already know, but EUSL3 coming back for their iteration with me on casting spot. Obviously, the goat smile. But I'm glad. I'm looking forward to see you guys back here again. I mean, every team played really well. I just can't wait to see another season of pure cinema.
Yeah, so keep your eyes open for information, maybe, who knows. But yeah, that would be it for us today. Thanks everyone for obviously tuning in. I hope you had as much of fun with all these games as we did. Kirkin, was a pleasure casting alongside you again. Do you have any closing words before we're sending it off?
These games for peak cinema. I love casting with Sloth.
All right, we'll see you guys around. Bye bye.
Goodbye.